Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cooptional Podcast for the 12th of January in the magical year of 2016.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Magical? I hope it's going to be magical.
Hello, everybody.
It'll probably suck. It'll be mundane like every other year.
Don't say that.
Yeah, you don't know.
Say that.
I'm just not known for being a very positive person. I don't know if you've realized by now. I mean, you don't know me all that well,
That's
Jesse. But
true.
All right, according to my brother, and me, this year is supposed to be 2016, building bridges. So this is the year where we're gonna fix stuff in our lives.
I want you all
And
to
that
leave,
will improve them.
leave now for that. That is
Why not? Why
love
wasn't? Why? Wait, hold on. Why wasn't 2015 2016? And
wait.
this year
Because
is
2015, because 2015 was 2015. The con is on.
No, that's stupid. It should have been. It should have been. It should have been 2016 was 2015, and this year's 2016, where the sex is on.
I mean, that could have happened. That was definitely brought up in the debate on their episode where they debated what this year was.
Well, all right. So at least one of them's smart.
I think because last year was 2015, the con is on. They wanted this year to be like all of those bridges that you burned by conning everybody in your life. Now you got to fix those bridges.
Well, that seems like a self-inflicted problem.
That's the no.
Why the hell did you do that?
If you fix yourself, then because you love yourself more, trust me, you're gonna get some because of that. Which means the next year is 16. From yourself, sure, whatever. 2016. It makes sense. Y'all's crazy.
You know, when you said my brother, and me, I assumed you actually meant your brothers.
No, that is a podcast.
I'm not familiar with that podcast.
It's a comedy podcast that's fantastic.
This is the only podcast where we promote heavily other podcasts. Here's this other podcast we love, guys.
I just assumed that you and your family would be the kind of people that would debate made-up movie years. That just sounds like something that would happen.
See, I actually assumed that too because my family totally would do that.
Yeah,
so I just was totally there with you.
Absolutely would happen in my family. It just turned out it wasn't mine that did that.
Our special guest for the show today is the one and only Anna Prosser Robinson. No hyphen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Why don't
Happy
you?
to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the only podcast I know of in the whole world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
True enough. You know, I think it might be the only podcast that exists, actually.
Mm-hmm. As far as I know.
Yeah.
We invented the term podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you should patent it real quick. Make sure no one else uses it.
We probably should. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking
you're all. Yeah.
Trademarking terms like that always goes well. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've heard it's a really smart thing to do.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about your role at the moment, because you were recently hired by Twitch, so technically you're now the man, and we are working for you.
I am. I'm
branded
by the man. I have the purple hoodie. Yeah, actually, it's kind of weird because I was at Good Game Agency, which owns Evil Geniuses and Alliance, and they were purchased by Twitch over a year ago. So I've been working in the Twitch building for over a year, but I just now fully assimilated into the fold. Yeah, so now I'm programming manager for Twitch, which means I work, my direct manager is DJ Wheat, which is super fun. And so we just handle all like original content that comes out of Twitch. So Twitch Weekly and all the event broadcasts that we do and all the content that we produce for Twitch on Twitch is our purview. And it's really, really fun so far.
Question.
No, me first.
High five?
Sure. Me first.
Age
Okay.
before beauty, Dodger. Age before beauty.
First. What happened to your thumb?
Dang it. I was trying not to show that. I got it's been a real challenge, right? Because I was like, I'm going to be on the Co-optional Podcast. I'm just going to use that as an excuse to play tons of video games. I got bit really bad by a dog. Not one of my dogs. A friend's dog.
I was going to say, that was embarrassing, was
just
it?
on the
No.
thumb?
Yeah, he caught like the end of my thumb.
Why are you sticking your thumb in dogs' faces?
I did it.
What are you doing?
Where, like, I feel like I'm really good at dogs. Like, I can read their body language pretty well. And I was like, that dog
My
doesn't
talents
look
include
like he's upset.
dogs.
Yeah, I'm good at dogs. And so I reached down and I was like, this dog doesn't look like he's nasty or anything. Reached down and it was like the fastest little dog I've ever seen. Just, and it just
it was a little dog.
on.
So you can't trust little dogs.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Got to get nice big dogs. You know, if they're not more than 100 pounds, they can't be trusted. That's what I've said.
But it did serious damage. It looks like just a little Band-Aid or something, but I couldn't play any video games until like a few days ago because it hurt to even press on anything.
Oh, you poor thing.
I know. It was like, of all of the injuries I could get, I could break my leg and still do my job just fine. But you mess with my thumb and I cannot do my job. It was hard. But I'm okay now. Thank you for asking.
Jesse, was your question also related to the injury, or?
It was.
I can't believe you both noticed that so quickly.
I'm concerned. Thank you. Yeah.
That's always good. Jesse, of course, you probably also know Anna quite well from the hosting of various Heroes of the Storm events.
I do.
Yep. I spent most of last year hosting Heroes of the Storm and previously hosted a lot of StarCraft and a lot of kind of the general release, E3, Comic-Con, PAX type circuits and things like that. So I do a lot of on-camera work as well, which translated well into my new full-time job. So I do hosting on weekends and days on either side, and then I'm in the Twitch office other than that. And then at nighttime, I run Misclicks, which is a channel here on Twitch that has various shows, most notably probably D&D and a Heroes of the Storm show, and then try to stream a little bit on my own as well if I have time.
Dude.
That is a lot of stuff that you do, more than most, I would say.
And I try to sleep sometimes too. I try to do that.
Ever since you started taking a crack at DMing, I've been getting so much shit from Steven and Adam. Yeah, they're like, look, Anna's doing it. She's sacked up. I was just like, oh, God.
It was so fun. You got to try it.
I want to do it so bad, but
Don't do it. You're a character. You're not in charge. Don't take the reins.
You just don't want to be in my world, Jesse. You don't want to be in the world that I could create.
I would rule the world you created. I would own it. Whatever world you created, I would immerse myself within its animu, cat girl, weird fetish world, and I would own it. I know you too well.
That's what's so great about it. My animals started being made of candy and things. It was like, you can do whatever you want.
Why not? Full adventure time with it.
Mm-hmm. It was very adventure time. No, I made it up all by myself.
What? Yeah. So I'm gonna do it one day, and you're my inspiration, is what I'm trying to say.
I started actually with Dungeon World because it's a little less complex numbers wise, and that's what got me into it because it's very forgiving.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to the harder ones.
Oh, I thought TB was gonna pull an us because I saw his face getting closer and closer and closer to the microphone, and I thought he was gonna do one of our shitty.
I wanted to introduce our other guest host for the show today, Cherno Alpha. Welcome to the show.
Oh my!
It's I may have slightly overdone it. I didn't quite expect it to be this size.
It lights up.
It does, yeah. It actually has lights to the chest as well, but I've got to get a tiny screwdriver to open the thing to fix that. So I had to order new screwdrivers. I feel like every time I use a screwdriver, it then gets lost and I can never find it again. I don't know where they've all gone. I'm pretty sure I own several sets of screwdrivers.
It's the same for me. I lose screwdrivers rapidly, and I don't know how it happens.
Also, let us remember the two Russians who piloted that. Rest in peace. May they never be forgotten.
Rip.
Amen.
Amen.
The Russians, they died for us.
Those poor Russians.
The cutie pie Russians.
They died to prevent the apocalypse. It wasn't happening. It wasn't even going to happen.
Did you know in the canon that husband and wife Jaeger piloting team liked to listen to Ukrainian hard house while they were piloting the mech? I am not kidding. That is canon.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Well, of course we knew that, TotalBiscuit.
Well,
why would we not?
Naturally. I mean, why would you not know obscure Pacific Rim canon?
Look, I'm just excited we're finally going to get another. I like it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I'm hating to break the bad news to you, Jesse, but there was an article a couple of days ago, I think, on GameSpot that said it had been indefinitely cancelled.
I don't trust GameSpot. I only trust GameStop, not GameSpot.
No. Oh, my God. 3 hours ago, quite literally, this was 4 days ago that they posted this. 3 hours ago.
Writes to Jesse Cox. It's not fucking happening, asshole.
3 hours ago, Pacific Rim 2 is still going, according to director Guillermo del Toro on Twitter. Pac Rim 2 cancelled. Don't believe everything you read. It's still going, and I'll remain with it one way or another, says Guillermo del Toro, who we have all met. And he was amazing, by the way.
He confused me for someone much more important. I felt really good about it. He was like, I think my daughter watches your stuff. I was like, sure. Yeah, all right.
I accept that.
She does.
Damn right she does.
Such a cool, like, he had great stories. He's got, obviously his life story is quite tragic. Like, he's an incredibly talented guy. And he keeps getting screwed over by companies like Konami. So I'm in full support of him. I refuse to let Guillermo del Toro's talent be wasted here. I'm really glad that it looks like this is back on course. Because that movie was great. I think it was, was it? Oh yeah, it was the Honest Film Trailers guys. The Screen Junkies guys that said it is the most awesome dumb movie or the dumbest awesome movie, like one way or the other, but it's one of those things.
Yes. That's what I kept trying to explain to people. I was like, that's what I wanted from this movie. I wanted it to be dumb and cool. That's exactly what I wanted.
It was both
of those. In keeping with that tradition, I demand that at the start of the new movie, Rob Kaczynski explode through a portal and he actually is alive. That's my one. I want that.
That would, cool. Considering what happened in that movie, no spoilers, that would be a tricky thing to have happen, but we'll see.
Nope, it turns out he had a twin.
Of course.
The twin lived in the alien dimension. Done. Easy.
Great.
Simple.
And
he's also an alien. Rob, since he plays an alien twin. Oh my god.
Some Gravity Falls
Hollywood.
Shit. No spoilers.
Oh my. Welcome to the Cooptional Podcast. We occasionally talk about video games and sometimes giant robots, which are, to be fair, inextricably interconnected. That's not something that we can really separate, I feel. We haven't had enough giant robot games lately, I feel, though. There's actually been a specific lack of them.
What was the
specific lack?
Good
specific lack. Not just a lack,
to keep them from you.
Yes, I do. I believe this. There is a conspiracy going on here to deny
me. Does Xenosaga count?
I guess it does a bit.
I think it does.
Chroma Squad from last year counts, definitely. I mean, Chroma Squad counts in more ways than one, because it's quite literally a Power Rangers RPG, for all intents and purposes.
But it wasn't like a, you are being a mech and going and defeating things in battle.
No, you can be.
I mean, you can be, but it's not, that's not like what the game is, though, right?
It's mostly fighting in your kind of Power Ranger suits, but then at the end of it, there's usually a boss fight.
But if you nail it, then you can become a...
Yeah, you all transform into a giant robot made out of cardboard boxes and duct tape and punch the hell out of this other thing. I mean, Transformers came out this year. I guess you could kind of count that. And I think it was an Armored Core release this year.
2D robots were mine
2015 is the year that we're actually talking about.
You could be robots.
No, not yet. No.
Kill Mayans who worshipped you. That was a thing.
That is true.
So, I mean, that happened.
So maybe I'm wrong, actually. We did actually have a decent number of giant robots last year.
Yeah, man.
So actually, it's a conspiracy on your part to discount all the giant robot games.
I am disavowing any knowledge of the giant robot games.
Yeah.
I'm pushing a narrative that suggests we don't have any giant robot games.
So we can get more?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what I'm saying is giant robots are underrepresented and that we need more of them.
In the workplace.
In the workplace. Oh my god, yes. Okay.
This is making me miss Diva in Overwatch.
Oh god.
Making me miss Overwatch in general, right?
Can we let's not talk about it.
Can we not do that? We're just sad.
It's making me sad.
A moment of silence, RIP for Overwatch.
The set is coming back this month, but we haven't heard a peep out of them yet. I hope it comes back and it's had a lot of changes. Let me put it that way. That would be great.
Chat. We do not need an Ava game. Oh my god. Let's never... That would be the most, weird, depressing anime game that ever existed.
Oh, an Evangelion game? Yeah,
never. Never, please.
No, thank you.
No, thanks.
No, thank you. That sounds like a terrible idea. Welcome to the Cooptional Podcast. We do occasionally talk about video games. Let's talk about the games that we've been playing this week. Who wants to go first?
I have an exciting one.
Go for it.
I dug up Full Throttle this week.
Oh, shit. That's a blast from the past.
So you went back in time.
I did, because this is how I got there. So I saw that they were releasing, the remastered Day of the Tentacle game. And I was like, Day of the Tentacle, I freaking love that game. So I went to find an emulator. And right under Day of the Tentacle was Full Throttle. And back when I was a kid, when I was way younger, my dad borrowed Full Throttle from a coworker and was playing it. And then I started secretly playing it. And then my parents found out I was playing it and took it away because it was inappropriate for my age.
No.
Super inappropriate.
And I specifically remember the part where he chips the little reflectors off of the road with the jumping ramp. And that took me so long to figure out, and that I had just figured that out when they took it away, and I had never played it since then. So it was like this ultimate redemption of being a grown-up and getting to play whatever game I wanted. So I played it and beat it all in one night. It was great. It felt so good.
That's how I feel when I watch Beavis and Butthead. My parents wouldn't let me watch Beavis and Butthead.
I had totally forgotten Mark Hamill was in that game.
Yeah, man.
He's in a surprising number of video games, actually.
It was awesome.
95 was just about the peak of Mark Hamill in a lot of stuff, be it Batman or Wing Commander, or that was like the sweet spot of Hamill. Good times.
It was very weird, too, because I'm playing that, and I've been playing Tomb Raider, and the difference between those games that were, like, shorter and maybe simpler, but sometimes very much harder than the modern, like, puzzle Finder Explorer games. It was very weird because I'd be like, oh, well, I guess I don't have to kick the wall because I've kicked the wall in 5 places and that's not working. But actually, I needed to kick the wall in like 50 places to find the 1 pixel that I needed to use to kick the wall to open the portal. Whereas like in Tomb Raider, it's like, maybe I'll just grab my survival instinct and she'll tell me what I'm supposed to do next.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, if I've already gone in that room once and I didn't see anything, there's probably nothing there, so I better move on. You know, it was like a very different mindset I had to get in to play that game.
That is a quality, like a mechanic that's showing up in a lot of games now. Like Witcher has that, and Tomb Raider has that, where it's just like some sort of an element to the gameplay where it's like, I need to highlight things that are important. And you hold a button and you're like, there it is. Yeah, instead of like having to actively look for it. It
was like an is it me or is it you moment. I don't like who am I now as a gamer? Like what does this mean? Yeah,
to be fair, I mean, games like Full Throttle back then were actually unbelievably obtuse in many ways. So, did any of you get the chance to play Grim Fandango, the remaster, quite recently?
Holy shit, that is like a flashback to remind you of what obtuse gaming is.
Yeah, that game is one giant promotion for GameFAQs.com, is what that game is. Yeah. It is incredibly obtuse, and this comes from somebody that has beaten the Discworld game. And that is a game that is insane in terms of its logic. Like, even if you know a lot about Terry Pratchett's world, it's still stupid. You know, a lot of those point-and-click games relied on those obtuse kind of rub object A against object B mechanics. And a lot of it was like, oh, well, when I put myself kind of in the state of mind of an insane person, then yes, that is exactly what I would have done in this situation.
Well, it was like process of elimination. I have a lock and I have a bunny. I will use bunny with door, use bunny with crate, use lock with door. You know, it was like use everything with everything
until you eventually figure it out. Yes.
Yeah.
That's always my tactic in those games. Grim Fandango, though, I think was built up too much for me because everybody kept telling me.
Had you never played it before?
I had never played it before, and everybody was like, oh my god, when you play Grim Fandango, you're not gonna know what the fuck's going on. Like, you're never gonna get any puzzles, you're gonna be so confused. And I was like, alright, I am confused every now and then, but like, it's not like I'm constantly unsure of what to do.
You almost feel insulted at that point. It's like, they think I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I think I'm really dumb. Yeah.
Well...
To be fair, I have demonstrated qualities of that in the past on a stream, but regardless, I should be given the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah. Sometimes I find hidden object games difficult, so, I mean, sure, all right, but...
I can't play those. I'm terrible at those. Absolutely dreadful. Mm-hmm. But yeah, those games, like the kind of height of the Scum engine era, things like Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, and I don't believe Grim Fandango was that because it was rendered in 3D, but... They're all very much, you know what, have a walkthrough. And funnily enough, Grim Fandango is still very enjoyable if you just read a walkthrough. Because really, what you're actually playing it for is the awesome writing.
Yeah. It's all about the writing.
Totally. That's what I kept thinking about is like, I would feel, because I was playing it and my chat would tell me when I got too frustrated and was freaking out, then they would tell me what to do.
That's a good way to do it. If you can get your chat trained to like, they'll give you a decent amount of time to solve a puzzle. Yeah.
Well, and then they'd give me like those cryptic cues like, it sure looks like that police car might need some fuel to run.
That's cool, actually. I don't think I could ever get my chat to do that properly. They're too much. They're all backseat gaming bastards. There's no way they could keep their mouth shut. There's no way.
Yeah, even if like 75% of them are like, okay, I'm going to try to just phrase this as a hint so that I don't ruin it. There's that one guy who's like, push the door!
Oh my god! What is it?
Door!
One of the popular quotes that you always see on like forums, like, I was literally screaming at the screen, this is painful to watch. You've all had those comments, right? That's
my butt is clenched. My
butt is clenched. Or like, I'm cringing so hard right now. Yeah.
Oh
god.
Really funny.
So hard.
But I think you're right. Like in the right environment, especially like with a smaller chat that's not got 20,000 people in it, it's actually a good environment to play those games because you can kind of crowdsource it. It's the same reason why I did some games on stream when I was researching stuff for the videos later on in the critics. It's simply because in the first 2 hours they might spot something that I didn't, and that would be helpful to me.
Well, it was an interesting realization, too, because I've spent so long in the esports world where every game is competitive, every game should be hard, and you should want to play it and have it be hard, and you should not want any help. And so I'm just like being reborn into this world of playing games for fun, and I was playing this and I was like, I shouldn't have any hints. If I have hints, then it means I didn't actually beat it. And then I realized, like you said, TV, it was like, I just wanted to experience this game as a narrative, and it was fun, but when it stopped being fun, having someone to help me made it fun again,
It's not fun to smash your head against an obtuse puzzle for 3 hours and not get anywhere. It's just, that's just the truth. And if people, it's interesting, it's something that we kind of talked about a little bit last week about Warframe, where people were saying, oh, well, if you buy items, you're missing the satisfaction of getting them yourself. And like, I get what you're saying, but sometimes I get more satisfaction from not having to sit there, not having the thing that I want. And I think that it applies in other games as well. If you get stuck in a part for too long, you're not enjoying yourself. And the satisfaction of getting through that may very well be lessened by the hours of boredom that came before.
And it all has to do with what you as a person find to be satisfying in how you play games.
Yeah.
I was wondering about the science of that, because I remember as a kid that I played Full Throttle for a long time, like weeks, and that it was really enjoyable, even though sometimes I would play it and not complete anything because I would just still be exploring and looking for things. So I was like, is it because my mentality as a gamer has changed? Is it because like game science has progressed? Why is it that was fun then and it's not as fun now? And I need more like instant gratification,
Like whether you've been spoiled by current games or...
You have. Oh, yeah. The answer is yes. You've totally been spoiled by current games.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
But could it also just be that, we're older and we don't want to waste our time?
Yeah.
There
is an element of that, I think.
Because when I was a kid, it was like, I'll just go explore the trailer again. Maybe there's something new in the basement, and it was like, as an adult, I know there's nothing else in the basement.
I remember when I was a kid, I would spend like days trying to beat a boss. And as an adult, if it takes me longer than a few hours to beat a boss, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Like, I start to get really upset about it. But as a kid, I had so much patience to just sit there and fight the same boss over and over and over and over again and be like, eventually I'll beat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually it'll work out. It's just like, man.
There's also another element to it, I think, where we just didn't have access to as many games back then. You didn't own 3,000 games on Steam or whatever. So you had to get the most out of what you had, So play it multiple times. Get the pointless unlock or whatever, or just do it in a slightly different way because I can't afford another game for another 2 weeks or whatever. So
yeah. Now you're all cynical assholes. So there you go.
Yeah, we all hate video games. So
we did it. We did it, guys.
Yay!
Complain too damn much.
Thanks, Reddit. I guess it's your fault entirely.
It was weird how short it was too, because I was all worried because I goofed something up with DOSBox and couldn't save. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to get so far and then we're going to have to stop the stream. I'm going to have to start all over. No, I just beat it in a few hours. So it's fine.
Those games were actually quite short and they were elongated by the fact that they knew that people would get stuck on puzzles and would backtrack and get lost and all that sort of thing. If you use a walkthrough, you can do it. I've seen, actually the video that I have up right now is a long play of Full Throttle with no commentary. And this guy did it in 2 hours, 46 minutes.
Dang.
So... that that game wasn't actually that long. To be fair, that's the case with a lot of older games, especially console games. There's with the live system. You know, you can blitz through Sonic 2 in like an hour or something like that, but I know it took me weeks to beat that when I was a kid because I was awful. To be fair, I still am and probably couldn't beat it now, but...
Yeah, when I watch, watching Awesome Games Done Quick always makes me have this sensation of, it took me so long to beat this game and it's taken me like 15 to 20 minutes, right? But then also, like the live streams that I've done with Jesse, like the Secret of Mana one and the Chrono Trigger one, both of those, I was like, I remember this game taking me so long, and both of them we beat in 24 hours, right?
Don't do this to me. Don't.
Oh, come on.
No.
Oh, come on. So mean.
No.
I
don't
Eat
need
that
one
shit,
right
yo.
now. I'll have one later.
Eat that.
I don't need it now.
Delicious.
I had my delicious breakfast from my multifaceted pan thing that was amazing. Like you can like leave one here maybe, and I'll have it.
The box here. I don't
No, don't leave the box.
I don't need
You have no idea what's going to happen if you do that.
I got them for you.
Oh God, this is a terrible idea. All right.
This turned into an ASMR of getting TB to eat donuts.
No. I have my gluten-free cookies. That's what I need right now.
This was a full thing when I left.
It had a lot of air in it. There's a lot of air. It's like have a tiny gluten-free cookie.
I don't want a gluten-free cookie.
Oh God damn it!
I don't eat cookies.
Lies.
I don't really eat cookies at all anymore.
You had that white chocolate and
bought that
raspberry
whole
shortbread
box
round
of you.
yesterday.
Because you were like, I
Shutting
bought
that
this for
whole
you.
box.
Okay, and so, like, because of that, I went and tried to reciprocate by getting you
Oh.
half a dozen Boston cream donuts, and you won't even eat one.
This has become infinitely more stressful than I hoped. Like,
Eat it.
This is retribution for introducing me to that chocolate website last night.
yes. I may or may not have told you about normallove.com, and yeah, now Jeff is utterly screwed when it comes to Valentine's gifts. He's going to be out of money. No more Titans for him. No more Tyranid nonsense. It's all about the chocolate.
I'm not ashamed of how long I spent looking at the very detailed close-up pictures of all of those chocolates.
They're gorgeous. They are gorgeous. Unbelievably gorgeous.
Amazing. It was so good. Okay, so never mind. You don't deserve retribution. You prophesied the new world to me.
Yeah. Yeah, the site's gone again. Every time we bring up normanlove.com, the site instantly crashes. It's not really designed for that. It's like, yes, a small chocolate boutique in Florida is probably not designed to be DDoSed by 12,000 people at once. Like,
It's in Florida?
I think, yeah, it's the place is actually based in Florida, I believe.
I happen to be going going at the end of this month.
They have a chocolate cafe
Is
that you can go
the
in.
reason?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm
con is
Googling
on.
where it is
I
right
think
now.
that's where it is. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but just so everyone's aware, it's normanloveconfections.com, so when you crash it, crash that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
Someone in their web team is like, dang it, TotalBiscuit mentioned us again, guys.
web team is
Dodgy,
like-
you muted your mic again, by the way. What the?
A cousin they
Oh,
hired.
that was
Like, I'll
weird.
give
There
you
it
50
is.
bucks, Phil, if you
Huh.
make us a website. Yes.
Yes.
Your voice was disembodied from your body,
Yeah.
and it was strange.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Strange. Oh, well,
Hello,
never mind.
hi.
Indeed. Yeah,
Hello?
you're there. I can hear you. Are you
That
just
was my
pretending now? You're just pretending, aren't you?
What are you talking about? What is happening?
Let's move on, shall we? What else have
What
we
is
been playing
happening?
this week?
Hello? Hello?
Team?
Wait, can
What?
you hear us? Jesse,
Yes.
Jesse, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay,
We can hear
cool.
you too, so it's fine. We're good.
Everything seems fine.
Wait, what the fuck is happening right now?
Well,
What is-
Skype
what?
froze up for a couple of seconds.
Oh, all right, but everything's fine now.
Everything's
I
fine now.
I think
yeah.
it is. I'm just.
We're
I'm just.
using computer communication software. You're speaking to us digitally.
Ah,
It's in the internet.
that
Oh,
was where the
shit, I
confusion
ain't got
lay.
time for it.
Yeah.
It's like now
Body went
we're
into a
being.
different tube
Yeah.
than your voice.
As it turns out, we're being DDoSed by Norman Love Confections now.
Ah,
The revenge
you
is
tried to
here.
be used for evil.
The Revenge of the Chocolatier.
I would play that game.
It sounds like a really bad DreamWorks movie. I'm gonna be honest.
It's the first, 4D game where it's taste and
Oh
all the other
yes.
options.
perfect. I don't think taste is a dimension, but you know what? I'm willing to look past that for the benefit of Norman Love Confections.
Yeah, thank you.
What else have we been playing this week? Actually, you know what? You mentioned Tomb Raider, which I have not played it yet because I'm waiting for the PC version, which is supposed to be out this month. But what do you reckon of it?
Which I'm so mad about because I got the impression that it was going to be such a long wait.
A lot of us did, actually. Yeah.
So that's why I'm playing the console version, and I would have liked to stream it because it has really, really cool stream integrations on it. Like, it has this thing where your chat can gift you items, and you have a cool frame you can put on it. It's like really, really cool.
Does
it? Can you explain that system a little bit more? That sounds a little bit like Hunger Games, like where they're dropping in the little gifts and things. Is it like that?
Yeah, this is like one of the coolest things about the game that somehow nobody knows about. But and I've only been able to use it once because I'm trying to do it from Xbox One instead of from the PC. So for whatever reason, it got really messed up. But my chat gifted me a gun at the beginning of the game. But then something apparently that you can also do is they can put your game in different modes throughout the play. So you have to check a little box that says, I understand that my viewers might affect my game.
Might screw with me in a horrible way, yeah.
So you can put it, some are just cosmetic. You can put the game in big head mode. And then some of them will actually give you some sort of boost or some sort of handicap or something like that. And then the thing is, I haven't really gotten it to work is the problem. So it's a really, really cool system, but streaming on Xbox One is so cumbersome that I've only tried it once and it didn't work, so I didn't try it again. But the other really cool thing, regardless of all that other stuff, is that you can enable a game frame that's specifically for streaming that says where in the game you are, what you're playing, how long you've been playing it, and that kind of stuff. And it is updated by the game itself. So that, I feel like every game should start putting that in because it's just such a really smart thing for a developer to put in their game to encourage people to stream it and have people watch it and know what they're seeing.
And it's extremely unusual to see a AAA developer do that. That's the kind of thing you'd expect from an indie that are a little bit forward-thinking, but for a major franchise to implement that into a console release of all things is extremely unusual.
Yeah. So I was really excited about that, and so I'm really bummed that I'm so far into the console game and then the PC one's going to come out. So I'm very conflicted right now whether I'm just going to abandon and start over or whether I'm going to keep playing. Because I'm actually not that far into the game. I've just put a lot of hours because I'm one of those maybe I'll go look in that corner again and find another item, and then maybe I'll go see if I can get to this tower.
It's definitely got those open areas, right?
Yeah. I've been in the Siberian wilderness or Soviet installation or whatever it is for so long because I'm maybe now I can beat that panther in the cave. Nope. Maybe if I go get that thing, then I can beat the panther in the cave. Nope. And I could talk about Tomb Raider all day. You probably know this, John, because we've talked about Tomb Raider.
We have spoken at length about Tomb Raider, yes.
But I'm really, really bad. If there's a hierarchy of games that I'm good at and bad at, the worst is console shooters. I am terrible at console shooters.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm not great at them, I've got to admit. I am terrible with the little thumbsticks. I can't aim at anything.
Especially when I get flustered and when I really care. So I get really deep in the Tomb Raider story and I'm exploring and I'm solving puzzles and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm in a shooter and I have to shoot the thing really fast. And I'm aiming and shooting all over the place. So Tomb Raider and I have had this really complicated relationship of what do I want this game to be? And really, was it ever that game? And is it me or is it you? I don't know. So I'm having the first new Tomb Raider with this origin story thing, which is a whole nother side that we could discuss. But the way the game was basically kind of a survival horror with a little bit of puzzle thrown in, I felt really betrayed as a fan of Tomb Raider because I wanted to do tombs and platforming and puzzles.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of that. Yeah. They had those little tombs which were basically one room that you could optionally go in and kind of solve a puzzle. And that there were very few tombs to raid in Tomb Raider, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I got to a point in that game where I had brutally died so many times in a row trying to beat this part that was a shooting challenge that I just quit. I was like, I'm done. I'm not enjoying listening to you whimper, Lara Croft, who is not really Lara Croft, and I'm not enjoying trying to beat a shooting game that I wanted to be a puzzle game, and I just can't. So I just quit that. But this one is a little better. I'm okay with this one.
I definitely want to have a look at it when it comes out on PC, because it will, it looks good on console. It's going to look really good on PC. The last one was a great port. It was gorgeous. So hopefully this one will be the same as that.
Yeah. I talked a lot to the developers about this, and they said that their goal with this Tomb Raider was to make it so you could choose to play it stealthy, puzzle, exploratory, or you could choose to play it run and gun. And this is kind of a common thing right now.
I'll be going with the second option, definitely.
Yeah. they kind of right now are like, I want to make our game so that everyone will like it. And that's really cool, but then the problem with that is that if you make something that appeals to every single gamer, there are still going to be parts of it that don't appeal to any gamer. If that
and you're also going to be a jack of all trades, master of none. You know, it's the idea. You know, you can please some of the people all of the time, or all of the people some of the time, but never all of the people all of the time. And it can be dangerous to compromise that to open it up to a wider audience, especially when you start to layer mechanics upon mechanics upon mechanics, and they're not well developed enough. Because we
want a really good anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we want it to be a stealth game, but we're not willing to really put the effort in to make it a true stealth game. So we're going to just put some very basic stealth mechanics in. And then the guys that like stealth, that truly like stealth, that have been told, yeah, you can do stealth now. It's like, oh, cool. Are like, oh, well, actually, the stealth mechanics just really aren't all that developed, so this is really not for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are posting Fallout 4 in the chat. It's like, yeah, that's actually does sound quite a lot like that.
I mean, overall, I'm really pleased with this one, and there's been a lot that I've enjoyed about it. But I do, if this is truly going to be a choose-your-own-adventure type game, I wish that there weren't those situations where it's like, plop, now you're in a run-and-gun situation, where it's like, I wish I could at least try to make that a stealth situation first, and then have to fight my way out, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I do like that while you're playing it, like, information about where you are is such a huge component, because it feels far more Lara Crofty for her to really care about like the things that she finds, and you know,
totally,
and to feel like that character is still there.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I like that she's learning languages. Like, that's a very small, tiny little part of the game that doesn't really matter. But I love when it's like, now Lara Croft can speak level 2 Russian. And you're like, yes!
Level 2 Russian?
Yeah. You have to, you find different things so that you can piece together information enough to be able to read stuff. And I think that's a really cool mechanic too. Being like, I don't know how to read this at all. But then once you look at enough things and identify like, oh, this is a picture of this and that connects with that. Like eventually, it's like you can read level 2 Russian and you're like, dope, did it. Did
you play the first one too, Dodger? The first new one?
I watched other people play it, and then I wound up playing the second one.
Do you like the Lara Croft character a lot? Like, is that one that you enjoy?
I've never cared a ton about Lara Croft. My and because of that, like my only big issue with the way that she's being portrayed as like tiny baby Lara Croft is that she's gone from like, I'm just a normal girl who's trying to like survive, to a ruthless murderer. Like, depending on the situation, and it confuses the shit out of me sometimes. But
it was a very fast progression, you know, from the whole, oh god, I'm running from everything and I'm really scared and raining and alone and this is terrifying, into I am proficient in AK-47s, RPG-7s, UMP-45s. I can make a bow and I'm pretty damn good with it. Also, I skinned this fucking deer.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't mind that as much because I was one of the voices being like, I don't want to listen to Lara Croft whimper. I want to be cool, badass Lara Croft.
Which is just totally fine. Yeah, the thing is, it's almost like they tried to have it both ways and they developed it too fast, I think, in the first game.
That could be, definitely. I can see how that's true, for sure.
Yep, very true. Yeah, hopefully that will be good on PC. I'm looking forward to giving it a shot, especially if there's a lot of being able to avoid a lot of puzzle and platforming sections and just shoot things, because I'm the opposite. I'm terrible at puzzles. I don't like platforming, so if I can avoid that with firearms, I'll be fine with that.
That'll be interesting to watch you play it differently than how I play it, because I'm like climbing in all the trees and trying to avoid the animals and stuff, and you'll just be like, boom, boom, boom.
Yep. I have a gun and I'm going to use it. That's how it's going to be. What else have we been playing this week? Who wants to go next? Jesse, you've been mysteriously quiet. Why don't you talk a little bit about something you've been playing?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is... I wasn't expecting this.
No,
I have to talk about video games?
I only I haven't played anything new. I'm boring. I only play shit that I like. I literally have. I spent like. I have a problem, TB. I went back and started doing like old daily quests in WoW. Like not
what
even
are you doing?
Jesse, stop.
Here's the thing. I'll never stop, and I want you to know that it's like heroin.
What?
It's like rain.
Yeah.
On your wedding day?
Yeah.
A free ride?
When I've already paid.
Paid, yeah. That. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's good advice that I just can't take. Who would have thought it figured, TB? I don't know.
You know too many of those lyrics for me to be comfortable with you anymore.
Oh my god, I know the whole song. Are you kidding? Shit.
Great song.
Shit.
Who doesn't know the lyrics
the whole
to that?
song? I know.
I mean, I do know a disturbing amount of Shania Twain, but when it comes to other things, not so much.
That surprises me.
That's interesting.
There was one reason.
Shania Twain life.
So when I was a teenager, Shania Twain was very, very big, and we went on quite a few school trips on very, very long coach rides. And unfortunately, the teachers that often went with us also seemed to like Shania Twain, and pretty much every girl on the trip liked her, and, we were outnumbered. So we basically got nothing but Shania Twain on loop for hours and hours and hours. So it's sort of been drilled into my mind. It's kind of like a brainwashing,
you just
really.
Like Shania Twain. It's okay. If you like Shania Twain, you like Shania Twain.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I hate Shania Twain. I don't hate Shania Twain. I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to Shania Twain.
I
don't hate her, though. I mean, it's fine. It's quite catchy. It's not terrible.
Played a lot.
She's not impressed by fucking anything, I've noticed. Like, she has extremely high unrealistic standards, but
don't impress her much.
No, apparently it does not. It's like, yes, you should be impressed. That guy's a rocket scientist. Look at him. He's fucking amazing. Like, he spent all this time at school.
Much.
He is literally writing history. But I always felt like the comparison was unfair.
If you got the touch, TB, she don't care about any of that stuff.
It just
won't keep her warm in the middle of the night.
I mean, it would. I mean, there's no reason to believe that a rocket scientist wouldn't be capable of doing that.
Fission will keep you warm.
I was going to say, this guy deals with rocket fuel. I'm pretty sure he understands the laws of heat and entropy, I think he's... Also, what the hell is the comparison between the two verses? Like, okay, so you're a rocket scientist. Like, okay, so you have a car. But these are two very, very different standards here.
She's just showing the spectrum. Like, whether you're a 1 or a 10 on the spectrum, it still does not impress her.
She still does not impress her much.
Unless you've got the touch.
Maybe she's looking for a beau in Ukraine, where cars are exorbitantly expensive.
Yes, I mean, I imagine that this American country singer is looking to move to the Ukraine.
I would imagine that's
highly likely.
Out the song. You
don't know her life. You don't know.
Yeah.
It's the dream of every country and Western singer to eventually retire into the Ukraine.
It's true.
I mean, I don't have enough evidence to dispute the point, so I'm going to assume it's true.
That's going to be new canon. Everybody spread this like wildfire.
That's not canon.
Shania Twain lives in
the Shania Twain wiki.
Yep.
It is widely accepted that Shania Twain, when she wrote "Don't Impress Me Much," was wanting to move to Ukraine.
Was lusting for a quiet life in the Ukraine.
As a borscht farmer.
Borscht farmer? What, does she farm live borscht? I mean, I thought those things are a bit tricky. You've got to catch him first. Like,
yeah, I want that on her wiki. She's
a borscht farmer. Does she have to go catch the haggis as well while she's doing it?
Speaking of rocket scientists, I did actually
that don't impress me much, but okay.
I did actually play a game that I played way too much earlier this week, and I totally forgot. Tharsis?
Ooh,
what is how do you spell that?
Tharsis?
It's Tharsis. Tharsis.
SIS. Okay. What's that all about?
I think it comes out today, actually. But it is a game where you are astronauts going to Mars, and
Quill's got a video with this.
And why I have a video as well.
Do you? So okay, I'll play Quills instead.
Whatever. So this you are going to Mars, and your ship gets caught in a meteorite storm, and basically the game is you have 4 characters, and those 4 characters need to repair parts of the ship to keep it going, but the way you repair it is by rolling die to determine your effectiveness in repairs.
Right.
And so it's RNG as hell. And each round, things happen where maybe one section of the ship you need to repair because it will damage your overall ship and eventually destroy the ship. Or maybe there's one part of the ship that if you don't repair it will make you lose 1 food. Or maybe there's a part of the ship that if you don't repair it will cause everyone to lose 1 health. And so you have to manage the health, the food, the die, because every time you use a person, they lose a die the next round.
Yeah,
so you're
this is a risk management game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm noticing you can hold die, which is actually a very standard kind of board game mechanic for dice-heavy games. You usually have the ability to choose dice to hold and then re-roll the rest in order to get a better result. It's something in King of Tokyo and all sorts. I mean, isn't that in Yahtzee as well? I mean,
you can also use those, so you can put your dice into scientific slots where if you put a 1 and a 2 and a 3, you can use that as 3 points to get access to something.
Okay.
Or you can, let's say you require a 5 in order to get something for your, maybe everyone who is on that slot next turn gets +1 health. There's a lot of things you can do with it. And then with all that going on, each time you live a round, you unlock a part of the story. And the story is basically, while on your way to Mars as you go through this, you discover that there's a signal coming from Mars, and the signal is coming from people that look like you. And so that's literally as far as I got before my ship blew up. And I was like, no!
Because you want to know. I mean, I love that. I love sci-fi horror. It's supernatural mixed with sci-fi is always a big deal. I mean, it's why I thought Sunshine was an incredible movie. I loved that to death. An Event Horizon, of course. I mean, great movie.
I still can see the scene in Event Horizon in my mind's eye of when that dude on the screen is puking up himself. That is in. I can't not.
That movie's not for the faint of heart. I will say that.
Messed me up. Event Horizon is not.
It is not a nice movie. No, it is not. I will accept that. But
so there's this weird sci-fi thing going on.
Okay, so you puked yourself.
Yeah, no, this guy puked up himself.
Indeed, yeah.
Himself out of his mouth. It's horrifying.
Yeah, it really is.
I can never not see that. That movie got me.
You're burning everyone else's mind now, too. Thanks for that.
Got me.
This looks really cool. I'm reading tips for it, and it was saying keep an eye on your stress. Is there a stress mechanic for your guys, too?
So at the end of every turn, too, what happens is you have your characters, when they do stuff, their stress level goes up, but also there's random events, and the higher their stress, the more awful those random events are. So you want to keep their stress down, so your random events will be things like your choice is either more better ship or more food. It's like, oh, yay. Later on, it's like, you have to eat a person. or it's like, yeah, sure, you can save your ship and get 1 pip on your ship so you have more life, but that's plus 30 stress. And so then the next time, if you do that, it's like, all right, so this time, turns out that, you're going to lose 20% of this, but we'll give you 1 food. It's crazy stuff. It keeps getting worse and worse and worse as it goes on. Until by the end, it gives you the option, and it leaves it there. It's great. It gives you the option, I think at turn 2 or 3, that one of the dead people on the ship, they're like, if we run out of food, we can eat these people. And the food, never goes away. So if you're ever like, oh my God, because food regenerates your dice. And so you can be like, I guess I could eat these people. But I went with I'm not going to become a monster. I should have eaten those people. I should have eaten those people. I would have been alive.
Yeah, it's meat, you need it.
I should have eaten those.
It's good for eating.
I was like, oh, well, here's the thing. Once I figured out that, and I don't know this for a fact, but once I saw the cutscene that was the people or the signal on
Wait. Are you about to spoil something? Do I have to
No, it's what I just said. The signal on Mars is they're like, those, I think, that looks like human beings. They're like, that can't be right. And once I figured that out, my theory was like, oh shit, that's us in the future. And when I get there, they're going to judge us for everything we did. So my theory was I'm not going to be a dick. I'm not going to be a dick about this. I'm going to get there and show the human race is awesome. But I literally fundamentally have no clue what that game is. It's like there's a signal on, halfway through the game is there's a signal on Mars. And it looks like humans maybe. And that's it. And there's but we're the first mission to Mars ever. is like that's the premise. So it's like, what is happening? So
it sounds like a good streaming game. Like that seems like it's got enough tension and RNG for people to actually enjoy watching.
It's definitely filled with tension. It's also one of those games where you guarantee, as a backseat gamer, you'd have a ton of fun because one little mistake and you're screwed. Like I had the idea, like, oh yeah, well, I'll take this person who has 4 dice and I'll send them to this one over here because it's clearly the hardest part of the ship to fix. And 4 dice, if I roll like 4 4s, I got this. What could go wrong? I roll it and it's like 2 1s, a 3, and I was like, oh, I'll just re-roll. But one of the mechanics is blue dice is stasis, orange is injury, and then purple is void. So if you roll, like, let's say the blue dice in the top corner is a 1. If you roll a 1, it gets stuck and you cannot re-roll that. If you roll a 1 and it's orange, you lose a life pip. And if you roll a 1 and it's purple, the dice just goes zoop and disappears.
It disappears, yeah.
No.
And so
goes out the airlock.
And so when I rolled it, I rolled like all these dice and 3 of them were stuck in stasis. So it's like, no! So I just wasted a character and the character just slowly died. And then everyone else had like one dice left. So I went and was like, I guess I'll try. But there's nothing I could do. It was like watching. And then when you die, here's the worst part. When you die, the ship slowly breaks apart in the longest, like, and it takes, and you're just like sitting there, single tear, as it just breaks apart into the void. And you're just like, this is the worst way to die. It sucks. It sucks to lose in that game. Yeah. So it's fun.
That is very, very rough. It is out now, by the way. It's called Tharsis. It's currently 34% off on Steam. I personally haven't played it yet, but it is available to have a look at. It seems very much like a board game, honestly. You could very easily incorporate all of these mechanics into a board game form.
Yep.
But
is it only single player?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, single player, turn-based, all about choices and rolling of the dice. Yeah, that might be worth having a look at, certainly. Cool. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the games that we have been playing this week. You are watching the Cooptional Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Co-Optional Podcast. Hopefully you had a wonderful break. I know I did.
Yes, indeed. Hello.
As mine was stuffing my face with more donuts, so it was a pretty good break, all things considered. I'm okay with that.
I had some kombucha.
What is a kombucha?
Kombucha is a fermented tea with probiotic elements.
Ah. It sounded to me like a piece of furniture.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
I was brewing my own
really
for a while.
Too.
Yeah, I really like it.
My brother tried to make kombucha.
Jesse tries to say something and fails. Like,
I don't. You know what? People are allowed to like whatever they want to like. I'm not even gonna tell them that I think it's awful. You're allowed to love whatever you love. God bless. Be yourselves.
Do you like?
But you have horrible taste.
Do you like bitter beers?
No, God no.
Okay,
Ew, no.
Then that's just like a your taste thing. You don't like bitter stuff.
Oh, I like IPAs and I do not get along. We are not friends. Yeah.
No, I don't like IPAs either.
I don't like IPA either, for what it's worth. But I do like kombucha.
I mean, I do feel that the two things aren't really related, honestly.
It's more like a cider. Like a really intense cider.
I'm cool with cider.
I can't do it. For some reason, I just can't do it. And I've tried. Lord knows I've tried. I do all the douchey things, and I still can't do it.
Dude,
I still can't do it.
For the fact that I still can after trying to brew my own is a testament to how much I like it. Because brewing your own kombucha is weird, man. It is weird.
Yeah, because it's a fungus.
It's like a culture. It's called a SCOBY. It's a bacterial culture that you put in your tea. It's like this giant booger that like ferments it. It's really gross looking, but it's cool. I felt really bad. I let mine die, and I was like, "Oh, but it's alive," and I let it die.
Aww.
I don't know. It was a weird feeling.
Sweet baby bacteria.
I know, poor thing. I just threw it in the garbage.
Dodger would have drawn a smiley face on it.
I hope this doesn't affect the tea.
Yeah.
What's important is that we continue to act all confused that people like different things in their mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else have we been playing this week? Well, shall we address the Secret Hitler?
Yeah,
Secret
talk
Hitler
to me about
room?
Secret Hitler.
Okay. Yeah, so Secret Hitler is a game by Max Temkin and friends. He was one of the designers behind Cards Against Humanity, and this time he decided to actually design a game, as opposed to Cards Against Humanity, which is barely a game. But regardless, he said, we're going to make a social deduction game, and it's going to be all about this secret dinosaur Hitler. And
Dinosaur Hitler.
He is actually, if you look at the card
all the fascists are lizard people.
Lizards.
Of some
yeah,
sort.
they're all lizards. And the point of the game is there are two factions, the fascists and the liberals. There are not too many fascists. There are only a couple of them. But they gain an advantage at the start of the game. They know who the other fascists are, and they also know who Hitler is. Hitler is a fascist, but he doesn't know who the other fascists are. And everybody else is a liberal. And they don't know who anybody is. So, the goal of the game...
Do you have to do that heads up 7-up style? Where it's like, everybody close
your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah. We came up with a process of doing it through Tabletop Simulator, and also to allow the viewers, if they wanted to see who everybody was, they could. But if they wanted to kind of play along and be in our shoes where we had no idea, then we allowed for that as well. And I'll kind of address what made that a great viewing experience in a minute. But yeah, it is like that. You know, it's very much, if you played Resistance Avalon or anything along those lines, where you have hidden roles, or, you know, I imagine most of the Mafia games are like that too. I actually have, weirdly enough, not played Mafia.
Really?
But, yeah, I've never come across a time when I have played Mafia. I guess Werewolf is very similar to that as well. One Night Ultimate Werewolf and all that kind of thing. So you set this up, and then you begin, and the idea is that the liberals have to pass 5 liberal policies in order to win the game. The fascists have to pass 5 fascist policies, or, at a certain point in the game, get Hitler elected chancellor, without anybody realizing it. The liberals can also win by killing Hitler, but the only way they can kill Hitler is to gain access to the execution power, which requires them to enact fascist policies to get there. So there's this temptation aspect where unlocking fascist policies gives you abilities that you could use. We did, frequently. We did. But, of course, the more of that happens, it's only 6 fascist policies, not 5, but hey, you know. Anyway, the more of these policies you unlock, the more powerful you kind of get, but you're also getting close to losing at that point. And once you hit that execution point, people start dying. And you usually in a game have 2 people die before the end of the game. There are 2 bullets available. And the president, when he unlocks that power, gets to choose to shoot somebody immediately. And they're out of the game.
Whoa.
Which, of course, results in a gigantic argument over... because we're trying to kill Hitler or a fascist, ideally. And, of course, that person's trying to plead their case that they're not a Hitler, not fascist or whatever. And so there was a lot of arguing going on there. We may have killed an innocent woman twice. We are very sorry.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, obviously, I don't want to spoil it too much for those who haven't watched it yet. All the VODs are up on my YouTube channel if you want to go watch it. But we had an absolute blast. We're playing with 8 people, which seems like the optimal number, about 7 or 8. And it was great. It was full of arguing. It was full of deception and bullshit. It was full of, I mean, the fact that you can use the term Hitler in a sentence and not be offensive is great. You know, there's so many out of context quotes, such as the liberals don't know anything is a perfect quote from that, all that sort of thing. We loved it. It was a ton of fun. We are thinking of playing it on a regular basis because of that, because it was that damn good. And I want to play more because I never got to be a fascist. That's actually kind of a spoiler, but never mind. I've said it now. I was a liberal all four games. And I really wanted to try being a fascist to see how that would work out. That's going to be taken out of context as well. God damn it, Max. You do this on purpose.
I was struck by that as you were explaining it, like how casually we can be like, and then if someone's Hitler and then you try to kill them, and then of course Hitler is
It's like, I mean, I really like being Hitler. This is that kind of thing.
There were numerous times where I definitely was quoted as shouting, "I know what it's like to be Hitler."
Yeah, you said that. That's some of the fun of the game as well. Deliberately saying those things because you know it's so ridiculous. I believe, there was another quote which is historically accurate. In 1932, Hitler wasn't that bad, which to be fair is historically true.
No, not at all.
He wasn't as bad as when he was in power. He wasn't in power then, you know? He did worse things later on. It's all relative, you know? He wasn't that bad. It's like Stalin wasn't that bad until he started murdering loads of people. He was better back then.
Oh, yeah, no, it was...
Stalin went...
I mean, and then we're getting into the argument, is somebody intrinsically bad, or is it their actions that make them bad? You know, I mean, we could go...
Oh, no, they were assholes. They were assholes.
I mean, was he always just as bad? From his birth, was he just as bad?
Who knows?
I mean, he is a lizard.
My wife is literally Hitler quote is perfect. You know, I've played a few social deduction games, and I think to me this one replaces pretty much all of the light ones like Resistance and Avalon and things like that, and maybe even Werewolf. Just in saying that, I just think the mechanics are so tight and so well put together, and it's got just enough complexity, but not too much where it overburdens the game, and it's got a couple of interesting twists that those other games don't have, and everything is put together in a really cool way. I mean, even towards the very end of the game, when you are one fascist policy away from the fascists winning, you unlock the veto power, and it's possible if the Chancellor and the President agree to veto an agenda. So when you get, let me explain how you get the agendas. So there's a deck of cards, and there's 6 liberal cards and 11 fascist cards in this deck, right? And you draw, in each legislative phase, the president draws 3 cards. In secret, he chooses 2 of them, discards 1, and hands the 2 to the Chancellor, also in secret. Then the Chancellor has to enact a policy, which can be either fascist or liberal. The thing is, the president could have handed him 2 fascist cards, or 2 liberal cards. Or, if you're really unlucky, you could draw 3 fascist cards. And you have no choice about that. But what gets interesting is once the policy goes down, that's when the arguing and explaining yourself begins. Because then you try and turn people against him. Like one of the common things that happened during our games was the president would say, I gave him a choice. I gave him a liberal card and a fascist card, and he picked the fascist card. And then, of course, the guy's denying it. It's like, no, the president is bullshitting. He gave me 2 fascist cards. I didn't have a choice. And the distrust comes from that. And you're trying to figure out who the fascists are. And, of course, the fascists are deliberately trying to mislead you and all sorts of things like that. And then in the background, of course, one person is Hitler, who is clueless as to who the fascists are, but really wants to be chancellor at some point in the game, you know? It's awesome. Like, it's a brilliant social experience. We played for 5 hours. We were expecting to do 2 1-hour games or whatever.
We did 2 games.
We did 2 bonus games because we're like, can we play again? And I was like, yeah. And we just kept doing it. It's a wonderful game.
If you can't bring yourself to watch all 5 hours, which you should, watch the last game, because that is like
the last game was the craziest. Yeah.
Oh my god. The end of it,
that was
maybe
insane.
20 minutes of pure
arguing.
Just like, oh god, it's amazing.
I'll have to watch it. I was sad that I missed it live.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing this more regular, so you'll be able to be involved in the group. I'm gonna be honest about this because people are gonna ask. I actually don't want Krendor in this game. I'm just gonna be entirely frank with people. Like, Krendor is a person that messes stuff up a lot, and he would really confuse everybody.
Oh my god, he'd be the perfect Hitler.
Yeah, he's the kind of Hitler.
Krendor would be the perfect Hitler. Quote that one.
Krendor's the kind of Hitler that would shoot himself. You know? Or Krendor's the kind of fascist that upon getting the shooting power would kill Hitler.
He did lock himself in an airlock.
He airlocked himself. He brigged himself, in Battlestar Galactica.
That's right,
he locked himself in the prison. He is... No, I don't like I don't like it because I mean some people said it adds an extra element. Yeah, but it's like it's a weird element where people are not acting in any logical way, and you just don't know what the fuck's going on as a result. You know,
Cry was doing a little bit of that at some points in the game where he was like, "I'm a good guy, but I'm gonna be a bad guy," kind of thing. So, and it didn't ruin the game. It worked out really well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many benefits there are to it. It seems to me like there's no benefit to lying as a liberal. Because, like, why would you cast distrust upon yourself?
I don't know. I'm just gonna say, Maggie, you should have lied a few times.
Poor Maggie. I don't want to spoil it, but poor Maggie. Kind of spoiled it a bit, but poor Maggie. Yeah, so that game is available free as a print-and-play game. Obviously, it was a Kickstarter, which was wildly successful. I'm looking forward to getting my physical copy of it. But you can play it on Tabletop Simulator with the print-and-play version, and it's wonderful.
It sounds awesome.
It's so good.
It sounds really fun.
It's so good. So more of that, definitely. My only concern is that if because I'm trying to bring the lounge back in a big way with more board games to 2016, that the viewers are just going to yell, "Why isn't this Secret Hitler?"
Yeah.
And it's like,
look, that's our fallback. If the game we're playing sucks, it's like, all right,
you just go to Secret Hitler. The thing about Secret Hitler is you need the numbers for it. Like, the regular board game is usually 4 players is usually good. You really need 7. I would say minimum. There are 3 variants of the game depending on how many people you've got. You need a minimum of 5. And then there's a 9 to 10 player variant. The problem is Tabletop Sim doesn't support 9 and 10 players. So 8 is the best you get. And I think 8 is the best balance. I really do.
That's really cool though, because sometimes we have board game nights in real life at our apartment.
No.
I know.
Like?
Look at me. I have friends.
We like stand next to each other to other humans. It's really weird.
That sounds like a way to get germs. I don't know what you're doing.
I don't. It's
Not a
rare,
fan.
But anyway, the only game we can ever play on those nights is Cards Against Humanity, because invariably, so-and-so will bring so-and-so, will bring so-and-so, and then we have 8 people, and there's no other game besides Cards Against Humanity that we own that we could play. So this one looks like a really good option.
Perfect. This is the perfect, my friends and I have a few beers, and we're going to yell at each other for a few hours game. It's perfect. This is a great game.
If you have the kind of friends that can deal with that, because I read this
being shot, friends who can deal with being shot.
Right. If you read the
people
book,
who don't take that seriously, you mean like the
there are so many stories on the board game subreddit, which is a great subreddit, very friendly. But every now and again, one of them has they kind of almost have a therapy session, I feel, where one was like, my God, guys, like, our regular group sucks. Like, we literally had marital strife. Someone broke up with his girlfriend over this game and stuff like that. And a lot of it is like, how do I get them to act differently? I really want to play this game with them, but they're too insufferable. Like, they can't separate what is in the game from real life. Like, there's so many, it's like, people actually get offended that you don't trust them. In the context of the game.
Or that you don't agree with them, yeah.
Yeah, even though it's in the context of the game, and they don't seem to understand that, like, nothing that is said in that game, is reflective of you in real life. But it happens to a lot of board game groups that they can't handle social betrayal games. They can't do it.
Yeah.
Or games like Munchkin, games where you're dicking people over. Munchkin causes so many fights.
Oh yeah. Have you ever played Super Fight?
Yes.
We mean to play that on Lounge, actually. There's an official DLC for Tabletop Sim to play that, and we do mean to play it.
Super Fight is so fun.
That's another one of those games, though, is like, if you just can't get your head around that you're not, like, if you're going to be upset that your boyfriend won't vote for what you think is the good answer, then you can't play that game.
You get insulted that other people don't think you're clever.
Yeah, exactly.
Really hard with this one. Guys.
I thought that was really funny. And then you start to figure out which of your friends is just the poop joke guy. Like, anything that's a poop joke, that guy will vote for it. So if I can explain why it's potty humor, put it to that guy.
Yep.
Yeah. The other one that we've been playing on Friend Zone is called Funemployed. That game is really fun too.
What's that all about?
What's that?
It's so it's the same sort of setup where there's like black cards and green cards. The black cards are all help wanteds. So one person is the interviewer who just picks up a card and says, "Okay, I am looking for a proctologist." And then everyone else draws 4 cards, and those 4 cards have just like random words, nouns, adjectives, whatever on them, and you have to come up with like a through line that you as an interviewee am going to you have to be like, I would be a great butt doctor because I'm a dragon and dragons are cool, and I like just 4
cool.
It's fun. It's a really fun game.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a nice twist on I suppose you can just call it the apples to apples formula, really, which is,
it is. Apples to Apples was, I think, the first that did that kind of.
Yeah,
with like a dash of balderdash in it, because you have to like make up something.
Yeah, a lot of people are recommending snake oil. I'm not sure what that is. I don't like people that recommend me snake oil. It's like, these people are literally snake oil salesmen. I can't trust them. But it definitely looks like it's good. But yeah, it's I do like those kind of games. They work very well, obviously, in a social setting, and I think it's actually becoming something that is developing slowly on Twitch for a select few channels, ours included, is social board gaming as a spectator experience. Mm-hmm. And I think it works very well. I think our view count, which is beating this podcast right now, by the way, And that was on it was kind of an announced stream, but it was announced on the day, and it was kind of at a weird time. We got like 17,000 people concurrently watching us play Secret Hitler on Tabletop Simulator. We were front page at that point. We forced Tabletop Simulator on the front page of Twitch, which very rarely happens, but there are a couple of channels which have started to get to that point where they can push board games and card games and social games onto the front page of Twitch, and it's a great spectator experience if it's delivered right.
And I think it had to do with the game, and it had to do with the fact that there were 8 of us from all sort of different like YouTube, Twitch communities, and like it was this confluence of craziness. Like it was so much fun. Like it was great. I can't even express how ridiculous amount. I love games where I get to lie, guys. They're my favorite games.
You're too damn good at them. That's the main problem. You're too fucking good. This has happened in everything that has a betrayal mechanic that I've played with you. You have been far too good at lying, and it disturbs the hell out of me.
I will second that.
Guys, we're friends though, right? So it's okay.
Yeah,
friends, so it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're friends, so it's okay that I lie to you every game we play together.
But that's the point. It's a game. You're supposed to lie. I don't know. Maybe I grew up in like an extra competitive board gaming family, but it was like if little brother managed to lie and steal from you so much that he won the game, then kudos to little brother.
Kudos to that guy. Yes,
he is a smart, clever little guy. Like.
Yeah.
So I commend you for your lying in board games, Jesse.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Someone appreciates his dubious talents.
Yeah.
Mustache twirl.
Indeed. Yeah, so we loved it. We'd highly recommend it to anybody that can get a group together. And honestly, it's fine playing over Skype. Like, I think webcams are obviously ideal because you can see people's faces, but having Skype run 8 webcams generally does not work well, as you're probably very familiar. So use Skype, use Discord or TeamSpeak or whatever, and just play that way and go by tone of voice and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Seems like the way to go. And you've just got to figure out a weird way of, on Tabletop Simulator, of Hitler signaling to the fascists that he's Hitler at the start of the game, which we just had whoever was Hitler, while his eyes were closed, just wave his mouse around so his hand was all over the place on the screen. And then the fascists open their eyes and they see the color of the hand waving around. And it's like, okay, that guy, we know that guy's Hitler now.
How do you do that in the physical game? As Hitler?
Thumbs up. Everyone has to extend their fist out, and Hitler puts his thumb up.
I was about to say, if you made any movements, because everyone's eyes are closed, everyone would be like, oh, that guy's Hitler.
Yeah,
so if everyone's hands out.
Everyone puts their hands out, and one person puts their thumb up with his eyes closed. Then the fascists open their eyes. They see the guy with the thumb up, and then they're like, okay, you can put your thumb down now. And the people that open their eyes are the fascists. So they know each other immediately. So that's
for real, though, being Hitler is like the most difficult thing on the planet. Because no one's... God damn it.
Being Hitler is the most difficult
thing on the planet.
No one's on your side. It's hard when you're alone as Hitler. Poor Hitler. It's tough. It's tough out there for a Hitler.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a nice little feature in Tabletop Sim called the blindfold, which they just added. The problem is it's not good for that game because
it literally tells you in chat.
It logs it. So basically, whoever turns off their blindfold, it immediately tells you in the chat window, so you know who the fascists are. So you can't use it. But some people are like, you should play the Resistance. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like There's an interesting thing with board games. I think this is the case with video games as well, but board games in particular, because board games like to re-theme and recycle mechanics a lot, where basically there are board game releases that make other board games obsolete. Like where you think, look, this game is quite similar, but it's better, so I'm going to retire this game in favor of that. And I think I would retire the Resistance in favor of Secret Hitler, or Avalon, which is obviously also a Resistance game in favor of it. I just think it's a better game.
Yeah.
I really do. So, it's great. Check it out yourself. Have a look. Again, free print and play version on the website. And of course, do support the physical edition when it comes out in a few months. Because I can't imagine it's going to be very expensive. Nice and cheap card game, really fun. And congratulations to those guys for putting together such a compelling game. It was one of the most fun experiences I've had in years, I'd say. And I really want to do it again. So, we will.
I want to see what will be an obvious PAX East presence by them, because they'll do it, and I want to see what
well,
that
I mean,
looks
the
like.
Cards Against Humanity guys were always at those shows. So.
Right? So I want to see what this looks like, what a secret Hitler booth looks like.
Swag that's like sticky little Hitler mustaches that everyone can wear.
Probably. That's
a free idea, guys. You go ahead and take
there
that.
You go.
For free.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next one's gonna cost you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty great, pretty great. What else has everyone been playing this week? What would they like to bring up?
Sam and I found out that the enhanced edition of Divinity Original Sin has couch co-op.
It does, yes, yeah, which is quite unusual for that genre.
Great. It's so well done. It like seamlessly goes from you're sharing the same screen to the second you're not in the same place, it goes to split screen.
Ooh.
You come back into each other's area, it goes to full screen, and it's not jarring. I thought that it was going to be really jarring, and it's not at all. All of the like ways that the menu works and everything, it just works. It's nice because our internet is biffing up quite a bit, and
It was, yes.
yeah, arguing with Time Warner Cable for like 2
That's
days.
always fun.
Did you win that argument? Lol.
Nick, no one ever defeats Time Warner Cable.
I disagree. Here's the thing. If you buy business class, they agree with everything you say.
Yeah, but you're paying
Trust me.
them to agree with you. Too.
I'm okay with
You're
that.
paying them a lot
I'm
of
entirely
money to
okay
agree
with that
you.
for the reduced hassle.
Dude, I tried to buy a business from Comcast for the same reason. They wouldn't even let me buy it.
Well,
I was like, can you
Comcast-
enable this thing on my account? They were like, no, we can only do that if you're a business. And I was like, okay, can you make me a business? And they're like, no.
Why?
Why not?
I could not understand why.
The rules are the rules.
I tried to consider myself a fairly educated, like fairly intelligent person, but I could not for the life of me, no matter how many people I talked to, figure out why they would not add some protection to my account or let me become a business. And I was finally defeated.
It's like, I want to give you more money.
I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you more of my
It's like,
hard-earned
we don't
dollar bills.
want you to do that. It's like, what are
No.
you talking about? Yes, but anyway, so sorry, Dodger, back to the Divinity Original Sinning, yes?
But yeah, Divinity is already fun. That game winds up being really, really fun couch co-op. We were looking for a game that we could play without internet that was like more of an adventure co-op game. And we're like, oh, maybe we should do Divinity, since like they have couch co-op now. It was wound up getting so addicted to it. We were playing it constantly while he was here. It was so fun. Aside from that, I finally played Avian Attorney, and that game is great.
Was it?
Yeah, it's so good.
I haven't played it yet.
It sounds great.
It's a big goof on the Ace Attorney games. So it's like it's all of the artwork is like newspaper stamp style. All of the characters are different animals, and you are a not so well-known bird lawyer who is trying to solve murders and things. And it has lots of just really good goofs, and it constantly kind of confuses you. Like, you'll do things and be like, wow, that was really easy. That's some like poor game development there, you know, a little too easy, and then you'll find out why it was too easy, right? Like, everything is very intricately put together. It's like a 10-hour game, and I'm like an act and a half into it, like 4 hours in. But it's really, really fun.
I love the art style.
Art style
blows me away.
It's straight up like, yeah, just sort of just people with animal heads. So it's like a lion, but with human hands smoking cigars. And yeah, Sparrowson, he's just got like human hands behind his back, and it weirds me out so bad. But at the same time, I'm like, I love this. I love it so much. Yeah, it's great. I was really, really excited for this game to come out. And glad that
I should play it, because I've played every Ace Attorney game, and I love them. Like that.
I think you'd like it. I think you would like it a lot. It does things with that genre. You can tell that these people played Ace Attorney a lot, and they were like, what can we do to sort of goof off of this genre? And it winds up being really good. So, and people have said that the very last case is like a super mind fuck, and I can't wait.
That's an elephant.
They're not gonna be things.
That is a German elephant that is trying to sell me chocolate. Okay, sold. I'm buying this game, definitely. Mm-hmm. Actually, I would have code for this game, but yeah, that I have been putting off playing it, and I probably shouldn't have.
Any game that's like, but get this, the humans, they're actually animals, is like an obvious +1 for me. Like,
same here.
I like that more now.
Same here. Any MMO that's like, I mean, you can be humans, elves, etc., or you can be a cat boy. I'm like, I'm in.
Yep.
Where do I sign up to play that cat boy?
Mm-hmm.
Help. Help me out.
Here's my wallet.
Yep. It's great. But yeah, this game, really, really fun so far.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
Other than that, finally put Neko Atsume on my phone. That's been a shit show.
Oh, God. Cats,
I haven't gotten a maid cat yet. I'm really depressed about it because I have the cafe out. Maid cat. I don't know what I got to do to get you all up in my business, but...
Well, Fat Cat. Fat Cat's my favorite.
Fat Cat. Tubbs. Tubbs is my favorite, too. Everybody's like, Tubbs is an asshole because he shows up and just eats all of your food in one go.
No,
but
Tubbs is the man.
He leaves you so much fish. He's great.
What up? I'm Tubbs. That's how Tubbs sounds.
He's great. So the two special cats that I've seen so far are just Tubbs and Bob the cat. And I've just left the cafe out waiting for that sweet, sweet maid cat. One day she's going to show up. I'm going to be so jazzed about it.
Yes, I just want to point out this one stupid game is now, it has more merchandise coming out this year than I think anything in the world. It's the stupid, I don't understand it. But there's so much crap coming out for this game. And
you don't understand why a bunch of like cute stylized cats would be good merchandise?
Well, all right, hashtag the internet. I get it, but I think it's stupid.
So great.
I know Jen has been playing a bunch of it.
Fortunately, the two first cats that you get are a totally black cat and a totally white cat. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to rename them to Sherlock and Watson. And they show up all the time because they're the like easiest cats to lure over. So
I understand why Jess is salty now. The Neko Atsume subreddit is twice the size of his. He got his ass kicked by a mobile cat game.
Wait, what the fuck even goes on a subreddit for Neko Atsume?
I don't even use my subreddit.
People are mostly just drawing cats. That seems to be what's happening.
You nailed me, TB. I'm super.
You are super jealous. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah.
Obviously,
if only I had a Reddit account, I might actually give a shit. If only I ever used Reddit, I might care.
But this picture is amazing, to be fair.
Tubba the Hutt.
Oh my gosh.
That is one large cat. I don't know if I can show that on screen. No, probably not. But it's too large a cat to fit in my video window.
I remember when I was introduced to this game, it was Rachel Quirico, Seltzer Please, was playing it, and I was like, oh, what are you playing? I generally like, I like to learn about every new game. What is it? Oh, it's, I get these cats, and I'm like, okay, how do you get them? I get them.
They just show up.
Why do you get them? Because I want them.
You put out food and toys.
Yeah, and then the cats come.
Up. Yeah.
Well, how long do you have to wait? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, it's a surprise.
It's literally.
I'm trying so hard, but I don't know. I mean, like, I get the cute cat thing, but it's one of those games that I haven't yet been like, I need to play this, because I'm like, okay, I'll look
it's barely a game,
There's
is
no
it?
need to play
it's
this.
a game in the sense that Tiny Tower is a game. You just do things and things happen. There's no real decision making involved in it, right?
Ginger brought me a memento called a clean handkerchief. I'm so excited.
The clincher was that I was like, okay, well, how do you do stuff? She's like, well, it's all in Japanese, so I can't really read it, and I'm not sure what I'm doing. But I know that if I push these colors,
it's English
if
now.
I push these colors, then this will happen. But other than that, I'm still figuring it out. I was like, this is way
really
too frustrating for me.
That's a lot of effort that she put in to actually play this game. That's more than I would expect.
She's been playing it forever.
Oh my!
Forever.
Nope.
Yeah, it's kind of. I guess it's 2016's Tamagotchi, I suppose.
Nope.
I'm gonna put out some deluxe tuna and see if I can get a dope cat to show you guys.
A dope cat.
We'll see.
Speaking of Tamagotchi, did you guys see that there was a Twitch Plays Tamagotchi going on a couple weeks ago?
No, stop.
How you barely even play Tamagotchis, though.
There was a robot that someone built that would push the Tamagotchi buttons.
Oh my god!
Way too much
according
effort.
to Twitch chat, yeah. And
I thought they'd just do something like play the Game Boy version of Tamagotchi, but no, they actually went all out with that.
It was an actual one, yeah.
Could have at least done Digimon. At least you could do something in that game. Tamagotchi is just like, feed
was the
me,
original,
clean up
though,
my
you
shit.
know?
Feed me, clean up my shit. It's like, no, this isn't fun.
There's a really cool picture of me in like 6th grade with my Tamagotchi on a chain around my neck because I was a really, really cool kid.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds really hip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was a Tamagotchi fan. Tamagotchi was the original, not Digipets or Nanopets or any,
Can I just point out that Dodger literally just said this in chat? Sashimi has the best price and return rate, but I almost never get new Catman. Thank you
Somebody said it's all about sashimi, and I was saying,
very important information there, Dodger. Thank you for that.
Because sashimi costs 5 gold fish, and there's always like a decent likelihood that a cat will leave you 5 gold fish after they eat the sashimi, so it has a good return rate on it.
You're talking about investing fake food into fake cats and what the base cost effectiveness and ROI is on this fake sashimi.
I just love the way you said goldfish. Like, this accepted currency, obviously.
This is legal tender. Damn it.
Oh, man. Jesse is not impressed much.
No, he's not.
No, I'm used to it, though.
Okay, so you got tuna. Okay,
the
so
thing
cats
is, if
don't
I
love
were
you.
to download it, I'm sure I would totally get addicted to it.
Probably. It happened to Jen for a good amount of time. Right? Every time I went to bed, she was in there with the iPad, and I'm like, you're playing that cat game, aren't you? Like, yep. And then I'd sit down and play my stupid pay-to-win Star Wars game, and she's like, you playing that Star Wars game? It's like, yep. We are both horrible people. Oh, my.
I understand that game more than I understand, and I cannot even remember the name of this game, but Miniwheat was playing this game where you bred cats.
I'm sorry.
Bred being the verb. You bred a
them.
cat.
Yes. So is it a live cat that you put inside a loaf of bread, or do you turn the cat into a loaf of bread somehow? I mean, does the cat die in this process?
I watched him play it for a while, and as far as I understand, you attract cats, and then you take bread and put it on the cats, so they look like a little kitty sandwich. Not that you're going to eat it, you just put the bread on it.
Okay.
And then you have breaded the cat. I
mean, I can't imagine they tolerate that for very long.
This is the extent of how I understand this game, and that's why I was so confused. It was like the back away slowly feeling of that game. If anyone, pray tell us in chat if you know that game or why.
Cat.
Or ask Miniwheat, because he was certainly very good at it.
Yeah. Next he'll be setting them on fire. Like, wait, this is a gateway to horrible things.
I was like, what do you bred them? Yes, you bred the cats. Why? Because that's what you do.
I mean, is bred in that? I suppose bred in that respect is a transitive verb as opposed to the general definition. Because I mean, if I were to say bred a cat, I would assume that you rolled it in egg and then covered it in breadcrumbs. That would be breading the cat. But if you're adding actual bread, then it would count as a transitive verb in that particular circumstance.
Holy shit, we are the worst podcast.
This is the worst show on the internet.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
We are literally Kittler. Oh my.
I needed someone to suffer with me from my lack. It was like the lack of understanding I had was so confusing.
It's reminding me of that gift set of Gordon Ramsay where he's looking at a girl. He has 2 pieces of bread on either side of her face. He says, "What are you?"
An idiot sandwich.
An idiot sandwich.
I love that. Speaking of, we have started the new addiction. We finished all of the Cutthroat Kitchen that was on Netflix, and now we started Chopped, and I can't get enough of that.
Chopped is
show.
so good.
Chopped is great.
I've been trying to tell everybody how great Chopped is.
The problem is that Food Network, for some reason, seems to make it very hard to watch its stuff. Like, they have collections on Netflix, which are just like, here's a series or 2. With Chopped, there's 29 seasons of Chopped, and they've got 24 episodes on Netflix only. So I'm going to be through that pretty damn soon.
Yeah,
but here's the good news.
Through it so fast.
Here's the good news. If you own cable, Chopped is on 27 hours a day. Like, that is.
I don't have cable anymore.
No. It alternates Chopped and Drivers, Dine-Ins, and Dives.
Yes.
Never get enough. Or Guys Grocery Games, which is also another thing that's on constantly. But yes.
What is Guys Grocery Games?
Chopped, but for like Guy Fieri fans. It's like, hey guys, we're in my grocery store, and if you like go run around and collect things in the it's
that's
basically
supermarket sweep, but with cooking.
Yes, but they have to make it.
They have to actually make the thing
for judges, and then people get cut as they go on. So it's like, yeah, you got to go run around and get grocery food and make something out of it, but you can only use hot dogs, and then it shows like the brand of hot dogs, and guys like, ding. It's the most sellout piece of shit there ever was.
They actually show the brand. Wow.
So
On Cutthroat Kitchen, they deliberately replaced the boxes with fake versions.
Nope,
You can clearly tell what the brand is, but they've like redone the label in such a way. It's like, this is Noka Nola. Here's a bottle of Noka Nola. It's like, what? Come on. It's exact same shape of bottle as Coke and whatever.
Yeah,
I like when they're like, use this taffy candy, and it's literally just a Laffy Taffy bar, but it has like scratched off. It's like,
yeah, they definitely do that. Chopped is great. I want to find a place online where I can watch all of it and not have to like. I don't want to have to pirate 29 seasons of a cooking show. I shouldn't have to do that in 2016. Don't you realize this is current year, people? Really? I mean, I shouldn't have to do that.
To trade money for viewing experiences.
It would. Sure. You know, I mean, if only there was a way that I could do that. It's not on Hulu. It's not on Amazon Prime. It's not on Netflix. Like, how many more goddamn on-demand video services do I need in order to get everything I want?
You know,
it's not on Crunchyroll either. Disgusting, really.
The thing that really broke my heart was I got Sam into watching Hell's Kitchen while I was in England, because Hell's Kitchen is on Netflix in England.
Yes, it is.
Then we came back here, and we were like, oh, we should keep watching Hell's Kitchen.
And it's not on.
We don't have Hell's Kitchen on the American Netflix. I was like,
no.
Here's the thing. What? A lot of the shows we have on TV here are Netflix original series over there.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah, that's a bit insane.
Huh.
The struggle.
The strugs.
So, you know, cat games.
Cat games.
Yeah, cat games and Chopped. Chopked's fucking great. I'm sorry,
Chopped
it is.
great.
I still haven't watched
great.
that, but I'm going to have to.
It's too good.
Oh, you should do it. It's so
They've
I
got
enjoy me some
literally-
MasterChef.
There's literally, like, you can just tune into one episode because none of it matters. You're just like,
No,
I'll watch this one episode, and it'll be like, here's the problem with Chopped. The problem with Chopped is it follows the same format so much that you know exactly when the commercial break's about to happen. You're just like, and we're going to reveal who. It's like, all right. I got like 10 minutes. I'll be back.
Well, I mean, that's why you'd want to watch it on Netflix or something like that. Apparently, I know they have an app that allows you to watch some stuff, but I don't know how much. It's like, am I going to go on Pirate Bay and download the 700 gigabyte rip of Chopped or whatever? It's like, where am I even going to store that? Like, come on.
On your Chopped hard drive that is specifically dedicated.
I need a 1 terabyte drive.
You can watch the episode where the judges have to cook. Oh, it's so good, TB.
That one is good. I really liked that one.
They do theme some of the... the first one we saw of that show was viewers pick the ingredients, and it was the most fucked up... Right, I'm going to tell you this. The people on Pinterest are evil. Like, Pinterest is literally Hitler. They are the secret Hitler. Because of the three social media things they use, these Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Pinterest is the one that came up with fucking the worst. Like, there's like
what?
What's the name? Can you remember the name of that fruit that smells like literal death?
Oh.
Jen in chat will probably let me know in the 45 seconds when she sees this. I think it begins with a D. Let's Google it.
Durlin.
Durian. Yes, it's durian. So
the durian fruit smells like hot poop garbage. Is what?
Yeah, it apparently has the worst smell of any fruit in the entire world.
I wonder what it tastes like.
It doesn't taste good at all. You've got to be very, very careful with how you prepare it. So they gave them durian, lime gelatin. This is an appetizer, by the way.
So this is round one was Pinterest?
Yeah, so Pinterest picked this. Durian, lime gelatin, imitation crab meat, and crunchy cheese curls.
Ew.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How do you make that into a meal?
The answer is you basically don't. Like,
I don't think anybody was successful, right?
One person managed to kind of maybe get it a bit, but everyone screwed it up. Like, I know a lot of people just try to hide the durian because they're like, we know this is awful. We're going to use as little as possible and bury it in flavors. They had no idea. It actually got so bad that there was one chef who was visibly pissed off and actually said this, like, if we knew that we were coming on the viewer choice episode, we wouldn't have come. Like, we wanted to be on a regular episode. This is bullshit, basically. Like, it was really bad. Oh my god. It was, yeah, so Chopped is great. Love it.
I'm always so interested on fruits like that. Like, who was the first one who walked up to a durian tree and was like, you know what? I bet we could eat that. And like pulled it down and tried to prepare it. Who did
Someone
that?
who
open and
loves
was
the
like,
taste.
oh, never mind.
I mean, I've eaten my own shit before, so it can't be any worse. That guy. That's
that
the
guy, I guess. Yeah.
He's like, wow, this is much better.
God, imagine if the next basket was from 4chan.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God.
How are we supposed to cook a bunch of dragon dildos? That doesn't make any sense.
This basket contains dragon dildos. 3 Jews. It's just like, no.
Stop, please.
It's like chicken tendies. Like, no. Stop.
Dino nuggets. Real shit.
Hey, and a Guy Fawkes mask.
Elevated chicken nuggets. Or what did you say? Dino nuggets.
Dino nuggets, absolutely.
I like that.
Oh, God. What about from something awful? Open the basket. Hot Pockets. More Hot Pockets.
It's just only Hot Pockets.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Flavors.
It's just 4 different flavors of Hot Pockets. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to make a cake. It's the dessert round.
Dude, see, I'm like, ooh, I wonder what they could do with that. This sounds interesting. Hot Pocket sounds interesting.
What would be in Twitch chat's basket?
Oh no.
Kappas.
Kappa.
I mean, Kappa's not really a food, is it? Pasta, obviously, pasta.
Oh yeah.
Pasta.
Picnics. Stuff that would go to picnics.
Picnics, yeah.
No. You open it up, and there's just a letter inside of what you did wrong last round. That's all there is.
Oh, and spam. There's spam too.
Yep. Spam, picnics, salt and spaghetti. Mom's spaghetti would be in there. That's true.
Yeah,
it would.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh
my God. There we go. I knew there's a reason we talked about this.
Totally is relevant. It makes total sense.
Great. Athene's gamer nuts. Oh, it's perfect. Oh man. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I was going to talk about Warframe, but that was much more fun.
Would you still like to talk about Warframe?
Yeah, I can do a little bit more on Warframe. I'm not going to go too in on it, because we already talked a lot about it last week. But yeah, we're still playing. Jen's actually started playing, which surprised me because I didn't think it would be the kind of game she'd be into. But I did consistently badger and harass her into doing it. So that's probably got something to do with it. But it's been going really well. We've been having fun. We did run into some server problems that was an absolute nightmare, but we've been running the harder levels. We've been doing some nightmare mode stuff, getting some really cool mods, unlocking new things. I mean, that game really is just about acquiring more stuff. Very, very Diablo-esque in that regard. Get more loot. The more powerful loot you have, the bigger stuff you can kill for even bigger loot, etc., etc., etc. That's what Warframe is in a nutshell. I will say, like, the thing that we certainly discovered about Warframe is that it is a game where you need a wiki to understand a lot of the stuff. It's ridiculous as to how obtuse some of the systems are in that game and how little they properly explain to you. It's ludicrous in that respect. They really need to sort the new user experience out, I feel. But outside of that, we've been having a lot of fun with it. Very fun. We built our own clan dojo. Did I tell you about Ceiling Dog?
Ceiling Dog?
I don't believe I did. Okay, so in this game, you can build your own clan dojos, which is basically a guild hall. So you start building it, and you get one room to start with, which is your basic hall. And you start to add rooms on, and you actually design it. So you start off with maybe a T-junction from this door, so then you can put a room here and a room here. So you design the whole thing, and it contains various things like a sparring room and labs. The labs you use to research items, which will give you access to new gear for your clan. So that's one of the reasons to do it. You can build what are called solar rails, which allow you to contest these various areas on the map, and not so much of a PvP thing, but a kind of pseudo-PvP to take control of a sector, and you can then tax that sector for people to enter it and all that kind of thing. So that's all kind of done through the clan system. But the cool thing about the clan system is that Warframe has a lot of visual customization in it. It's called Fashion Frame for a good reason, or Space Barbie, as a lot of people like to call it, because you can very heavily customize your weapons, the way that your Warframe looks, and also your ship. You have your own ship, and inside you can place things. So my ship is currently decorated like Christmas, and it's got a lot of little collectible bobbleheads everywhere and all that sort of thing. You can have a little kind of alien dog creature which you can take out on missions, and you can pet it to give it a damage boost and all that sort of thing. Because of course you can. You can give it a little Santa hat. And the clan halls can be customized, and the first thing that we did, instead of building a useful thing, we went to decorations like, holy shit, this is a giant bronze dog. We must build the giant bronze dog. So we invest actual premium currency into doing this, by the way. Real money was spent to build this dog.
Yay!
And we put this giant dog in the middle of the room, and it's like, I wonder if we could put the same dog, but on the ceiling.
Yes.
So we did. And now our initiation for the clan is that anyone who wishes to join the clan, it is a YouTuber-only clan, so don't even ask. You have to get to the dog and hang on the dog, and then you gain its power and its blessing. And then you are allowed into the clan, truly. So
is it hanging like feet first from the ceiling?
Feet first from the ceiling, yes. It's 50 feet in the air. So you have to wall run basically to get there, and then do a big jump halfway across the room and grab onto it. So it's actually a little bit tricky, but you have to reach the dog in order to be accepted into the clan. There's 5 of us. It's just it's kind of a cool game because it scales the clan research costs and things based on the number of members you have. So you can have a tiny little clan with just a few friends, and it's actually reasonable to research items and things. So yeah, Strippin has not yet made it to the dog, so he's not a true member yet. But he will get there. We believe. We believe that Strippin will achieve a higher level of being.
I believe in you, honey.
Did any of you touch the dog?
Bless you.
Well, I bought the dog, so I felt I didn't have to.
All right.
But everyone else got to the dog. I have actually made the jump to the dog. It has happened. So it's all good.
I am 100% for spending real money on cosmetics that enhance your experience in a game.
Absolutely.
100% for it.
Yep.
Heroes of the Storm, first time I logged in, rainbow unicorn mount for $20.
Yep. That's what I did, straight up. First thing I did was buy that damn rainbow unicorn immediately.
Oh, yeah. I think we rode on our magical unicorns together.
We were playing technical alpha in the first week, I think, and we had a squad of rainbow unicorn people. It was,
and I have not regretted that purchase for one moment.
No,
and
I don't
keep
think
trying to explain to people, our elders who don't understand these things or whoever.
Our elders, yes.
The elders, yes. The elders.
Who are like, why would you pay $20 to make pixels look different? And I'm like, because that's the whole point. It's the experience that I'm getting out of the game.
I'm making it look different. That's the point.
My eyes are taking in rainbows instead of brown. It's a very easy concept for me. But yeah, so I commend you on the bronze dog.
Yep, bronze dog is great. We have our own little water garden, a Zen water garden in there as well, and we need to customize that. You can build 7 different kinds of drum that all play a different tone. So you can literally play music in the game.
What?
By setting up a set of drums, which we thought was really awesome. Their game, they've added so much stuff to it because they realized that people love the cosmetic stuff, so they added a shitload of it. Just huge amounts. And it's great because it does give people a reason to buy stuff. You can buy items in the game, but they're also very easily acquired through farming. So, if you just want to skip the grind, you can kind of do that. And we've had a lot of fun with it so far. We've been trying different frames and different weapons out. We've been trying harder content, and we're eventually going to be, we're doing the tier 4 stuff, and then we're going to be doing this, what are called the Corrupted Dragon key runs, which involve you getting these really rare mods that have debuffs and stuff on. So, yeah, we dig it. We dig it. It's great. We've been playing it a lot. It's definitely got its problems, but I think it's a really, really fun game. My conclusion is that this is my Dynasty Warriors. Now, I understand why people like Dynasty Warriors, and this is my Dynasty Warriors.
I can't hate you for that. I can't hate you for it.
Yep. Slashing up hundreds of enemies as a space ninja while doing backflips. I have a blade. I have a sword that has a shotgun in it, and I can use both. I slash away at them and then do a double flip and then do a double shotgun blast. It's like, this is awesome. If I was 13, this would be the best game ever. As it stands, I'm 31, and it's merely a good game. But, yeah, so I'm...
You and Jenna play together most of the time?
She's only just started, but we intend to play a little bit together. I'm obviously a bit further on in the game, but the cool thing is that if you are introducing somebody new to the game and it's like, oh, well, I'm going to be stupidly overpowered, so I'm kind of going to ruin their experience just by killing everything, you can literally just equip a different warframe and gun, and that basically puts you right back to level 1 immediately. Like, the game doesn't have a traditional level system. The gear has levels. So if my gear is max level, I'm pretty powerful, but I can swap to a new frame that doesn't have any of that stuff and instantly kind of go back to where they are. So you can play with your friends at their level if you want. And there's a benefit to doing that too, because as your level goes up, you level your overall account mastery level, and you gain stuff that way. So it's pretty cool. I like it. It's very, very, very much like Destiny, which I did not play because it was on console. So this is our Destiny, and we don't have to pay for it. So that's pretty cool.
That's great.
Yep. All right. Does anyone else have any other games that they are just dying to tell us about? I mean, I'd love to tell you a bit about Dragon's Dogma, but kind of can't. It's still under embargo.
When does that actually come out?
Friday?
Dragon's Dogma, that game that came out years
ago. 2012.
When does that come out?
I mean, I could easily talk about it because, the game is obviously the same. I can't talk about the PC port until Thursday, I believe. And I will let people know. But I've only played a few hours so far, but I'm noticing a ton of interesting new ideas that kind of come from, I suppose, the Japanese development perspective of what's basically a Western kind of dark fantasy game.
Question for you. Did they keep the fantastic intro song?
Music.
Yes.
I have to know.
I believe they did.
It's so good.
It's pretty good.
It's so out of place and weird and amazing. It's
perfect.
Great.
It's practically perfect in every way.
Yeah. So I've been having, so far, some pretty good fun with it. I do like the fact that your companions just do stuff like they were an actual companion instead of just standing around waiting for you to tell them. You go to a town, they'll just run off and start looting stuff because they can. So that's great. The combat system is a lot of fun.
You can pretty much make them whoever you want, which is fantastic.
There's a lot of visual customization.
Myself and Brienne of Tarth ran around and destroyed everyone. You
can make a very Brienne of Tarth character.
Go kick ass, Brienne. It was great.
Yeah, you can create a fat mage right off the bat. The weird thing is that weight actually affects your performance in the game to some degree. So I believe heavier characters can't jump as high or they move slower, but they maybe have a different advantage or whatever. So it's pretty cool. Apparently, Dark Arisen does not have that song, so that's unfortunate. I did not know that, but so far I'm having quite a lot of fun with the game just because it's so different to a lot of other action RPGs that I've played. It's got a bit of Monster Hunter in there, a little bit Dark Souls in there, a little bit Diablo in there, a little bit of Dragon Age in there. It's a nice little melding, and I do like it when the Japanese do try and make kind of a Western-style fantasy game, because they always come up with something interesting. The last time they did it, they came up with Dark Souls. So, yeah, I dig that, or Demon Souls, I suppose, before that. But so far, I'm liking the game a lot. I'm going to have to put a lot more time into it before I really figure out my proper opinion on it, but it's interesting enough to make me want to keep playing it. And I believe that's coming out January the 15th, which is, in fact, Friday on PC. And it's $30. So they're not making the mistake of pricing a 3-year-old game at full price. So I can kind of dig that. Yeah, so that's that. Cool, let's take a break. Let's not.
Oh, I was wondering, did you guys play Life is Strange?
Yeah.
I only just started. I played the first chapter. And I started playing it because someone was like, hey, it's supposed to be based on Oregon teens. You should play it, as someone who was an Oregon teen.
I was also an Oregon teen, and I can tell you right now, it's not how anybody I know acted or talked
exactly
ever.
I was streaming it. I was laughing so hard because I was like, if this is who I was as a teenager, then I was checked out because I do not remember any of this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not much to say about it, obviously, because, most of what you would say about it is spoilers, but I just thought it was really, really funny. The French perception of what it would be like to grow up in an Oregon coastal town.
Yeah.
That is bizarre. I haven't quite finished that game yet. I'm told the ending is a little bit strange, but...
Strange.
Nonsense.
Strange, because it's life. It's all about life.
Just much like life.
Yes, indeed.
You say.
Life is strange. What is the fucking tornado? What the hell?
Can I just tell you guys something that I just learned that is shocking to me?
Yes.
The intro to the original Dragon's Dogma, who is by B's it's Bees Into Free is the name of the song, I think. It does not exist.
It's not on YouTube.
It does not exist on YouTube at all.
It's been wiped off it.
It's been everything. There's covers and like when people upload a song way too fast versions of it, but the song is gone. It does not exist anymore.
Here's the thing.
Sad.
It's not surprising. I mean, Japanese developers have a really weird relationship with YouTube, as in they don't understand it and they do really fucked up things with it. They kind of do. You know, that this is the same. I mean, it's not obviously the same company that did this. Capcom was historically pretty bad. I know, like, obviously, the US division of Capcom is very, very YouTuber friendly, but the Japanese end, not so much. And there have been problems with various companies, like Square Enix recently had that ridiculous thing that said, you can't stream Dragon Quest Heroes. We won't let you. Yeah. Like, and you can't, you know, and under these specific circumstances, you can make a video, but you can't use any of the music or anything like that. And I'm like, screw you, you know? Like, you can't enforce that on me. If you want to enforce it, you issue me a DMCA, and I will counterclaim it, you know? But they're very, very controlling. The Japanese in particular are very, very controlling about YouTube. You know, I almost had my channel shut down 3 years ago by Sega for doing nothing more than showing a 20-year-old Sega Saturn game on my channel. They almost wiped my channel off the internet, you know?
Jeez.
So
there is an 18-second version of a part of the song. So if you want to know what it was like, just a brief little touch of what it was.
Well, I can tell you, I ain't playing that on the show. If that's what happens to videos that have that, no, I'm not going anywhere with that. We're playing something else entirely.
They removed the theme song from the game on re-release. I'm so glad I have an Xbox version of that game. Yeah. I'm so thrilled I can go back now, which will happen today, just to watch it, because it's so out of place and so over the top and so like wonderfully anime in itself that it's just like, it's great. It's great.
Oh, man. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the news and the releases, and then there will be shameless plugging going on. You are watching the Cooptional Podcast. Do not go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cooptional Podcast for the final 45 minutes or so of the show. Jesse, you were rocking out there for whatever reason.
Hold on, I have to mute
found
it.
the song.
I found it on G4. Oh my god, I didn't know G4 still had a website. They do though.
G4 still exists?
Dude, I mean,
that
it doesn't,
but
is so good. It's basically like you're watching the intro to a good anime. It's so good. It has no place being in that game whatsoever because there's nothing else like it in that game at all, which kind of explains why they got rid of it, but it's so charming as an intro that I have no problem with it. It was wonderful.
I will try and hunt that down.
Cheers.
I'll have to be careful about adding it to my playlist. Apparently, if I do that, I'll get copyright strike from the heavens. So let's avoid that for the time being.
Please don't.
All right, let's talk about news. Shall we start with the comical or shall we start with the Oculus?
Oh my God.
Oculus.
Oculus or comical?
Oculus.
Okay.
Oculus.
All
Oculus.
Right. Okay. The Oculus Rift has now finally got a price. It was open for pre-ordering a few days back. And
wait,
the price,
is this the comical one or
this is not the comical one. The comical one is the Sony story that we'll talk about later. But yes, it is $599 US. And obviously in other countries it's going to cost you quite a bit more than that. I believe according to Rock Paper Shotgun it was about £550, which by the way is not at all a correct translation of dollars to pounds. At
that doesn't sound right, but sure.
£530 apparently is what it cost Rock Paper Shotgun to pre-order an Oculus Rift. £530 to dollars in the current ratio is $765. So Europe got screwed, and Britain got screwed. Australia probably got super screwed because they always do, and America still got a $600 headset. And needless to say, this caused quite a bit of consternation. And a lot of that came from the fact that in several interviews, even up to about 3 or so months before the unveiling of the price tag, they were kind of hinting at the term ballpark at around $350. So they were saying ballpark. Now, I believe the interview 3 months beforehand said, yeah, we're looking at a kind of $350, but it's going to be probably more than that, but it'll be in that ballpark. Now, of course, $600 is not really in the ballpark of $300. That's one hell of a ballpark. Let me put it that way.
It's in the hundreds.
It's a very large ballpark.
I mean, it has the same number of digits, so it's in the ballpark, really. It uses the same kind of currency, so it's in the ballpark. You know, it doesn't use
2 threes
is
a 6.
Goldfish.
Doesn't
use goldfish. It
Right.
uses real money, so no sashimi.
Goldfish is real money. You heathens.
Yep, I am of course aware that VAT is 20% in the UK, but if my mental mathematics is correct, that still does not add up to $750. But never mind.
But you can buy sashimi with it.
You probably could. I mean, I think I don't know
get
what the
a good
exchange rate
return
for
on your investment.
How much sashimi would you need to trade in order to get an Oculus Rift is the question. Now, since then, of course,
does a cat have an Oculus Rift?
I mean, the cat could have an Oculus Rift. I don't believe that it's designed for one.
How did a filthy rich cat get an Oculus Rift?
It's a fat cat. It's the corporate fat cats at work, man.
Tubbs, damn it.
Fucking Tubbs. It's always Tubbs.
He's a mogul. He's a kind of crime kingpin, as it were, I think.
Like a hut, almost. Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, some people are upset. The creator did an AMA on Reddit, which I think actually was a very good AMA. He was pretty upfront about everything. When people were like, look, what the hell? He's like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. And I won't be saying anything like that again in the future, because they're asking, so how much is the Oculus Touch going to be? It's like, nope, not making that mistake again. He has explained on multiple occasions, assuming you decide to believe him, that the Oculus Rift is not being sold at a profit. And the way that Oculus is going to make money is through their Oculus Store, which is very much like Steam. It is not, as some people have said, a way to lock games to the Oculus Rift platform. They are saying that Vive and the other platforms will be able to add support for that. So really, the Oculus Store is the Steam of VR. They're kind of curated. Also, they're called Steam of VR. So that they will take a cut of that, and that's how they make their money. They're saying that the Oculus Rift is not making them money. Because it's it's expensive tech, and to be honest, I think I believe them. Like, I think $600 is about the price that I would have expected for a good quality VR headset.
Me too. I was not surprised to hear that it was around $600. But I guess if I had heard before that it was going to be $300, and then they were like, oh, it's $600, I would have been like,
pretty
nice guys, fucked up. But since I didn't. Hearing it just as a price on its own, that didn't surprise me too much.
Yeah, that's what you pay to be an early adopter. Like I was isolated as well from having heard before that it was going to be cheaper. But when I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And actually, that's like, if it had been $700 or $800, I still would have been like, I'm not too surprised. That would have been pretty spendy, but I'm not like crazy surprised that this is the first wave, if you will. And if you really want to be someone who gets part of the first wave, then that's about the kind of going rate for those kinds of tech, I would feel,
Yeah. Now, of course, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, I hope the Steam VR is cheaper then. And I don't think it will be. Because by the sounds of it, the Steam VR tech is even more advanced. I don't see how they could make it cheaper unless they're willing to take a gigantic freaking loss on it.
That was the other thing I thought when I saw the price. My two thoughts were first like, that's about what I thought. And my second thought was, I'm still not going to buy one because I'm just going to buy the HTC Vive. Because that thing, I am like, I will shill for that thing until the day it comes out. I have not
had the chance to use it. Have you used both the Oculus and the Vive up to this point?
To be fair, I used an older Oculus. And I haven't used like the newer one with integrated hand thingies. But Vive was like a life-changing experience. It was like I walked out and was different. It was amazing. So
did you have an experience in a room that you were able to walk around? Because that seems to be the big thing. Oculus seems to be focusing on the seated experience, whereas Vive seems to be focusing on you set up a room for this kind of thing.
The applications of Vive, because I was in a room, one of the testing rooms that they have at cons and stuff. And the applications of it were just mind-blowing because, of course, there were games, like I was in the secret shop, the Dota secret shop, and you could poke things and pick up things, and you could make yourself small and stand on the rafters and look down and, all these things. And then there was one where you were underwater on a shipwreck and you could see a real life-size blue whale swim right by you, so close you could touch it. And then, so all of that was really strange because I was experiencing, like, I really wanted to reach out and touch the whale, but it was so real that I couldn't make myself. Or like when I was in the secret shop.
Touch the whale.
I know. Or like the weirdest one was I was on a cliff and I wanted to step over the cliff knowing that there was a floor there because I was in a room, but I couldn't make myself because it was too real. Anyway, but one of the coolest things was that the menu, this is really weird, but the menu screen is just you in this infinite white room. And I was just sitting there and I was like, this is the most calming, quiet place that I've ever just sat in. And because it just eliminates everything else around you. So it was I wonder if there are applications for like mental health or anxiety or even just like daily meditation or
no doubt.
Sure.
You know?
No doubt. I mean, it's not VR, but there's a fairly similar tech that's now being used to keep children calm inside MRIs, which is basically their video goggles for all intents and purposes. They basically just play a movie. And they can work inside the MRI, and it's designed to keep kids calm because obviously an MRI is a very stressful experience.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, there's definitely applications for that. I have the Gear VR for the Samsung phones, and it's by no means as good, but it's still good enough. And there are plenty of experiences in that which are just, if you want to sit in a Zen garden, you can sit in a Zen garden. There's an application where you can use the thing on the side of it's got a controller on the side, so you move your thing around and it moves the camera, and then you can move sand around. You can just kind of do the whole like sand raking thing. It's surprisingly relaxing. The theater applications are, I mean, if on Gear VR there's a theater on the fucking moon. You can just watch a movie on the moon, or in your kind of own theater. The Netflix app puts you in a little ski chalet, which with a giant TV and a fireplace, and it's actually fun to watch stuff in that environment, and it's especially useful when you don't have that space. The first thing that I thought immediately upon getting that is planes, on flying. I think that assuming there is not a motion sickness issue with that, which I don't think there will be, because once you're in the air at cruising altitude, you don't, unless you're bumping around, actually feel the motion of the aircraft.
Yeah.
So I think you could very easily get away with it. Obviously with Oculus you can't do that because you've got to plug it into a giant PC, but that's not to say that you can't have such applications on an Oculus and the Vive. And I think there will be a space for that. And I know that they were saying that the Oculus store is going to curate what they're calling experiences. And it's not just going to be games, it's going to be experiences. So you can do a whole bunch of stuff like that.
That was the difference, because I get really motion sick is my problem. So both Oculus and Samsung Gear, like the Gear VR, they both made me really motion sick. But
weirdly enough, the Gear does not make me motion sick, and I'm a very motion sick prone person. Yeah. I was the person that going on Star Tours when we went to Disney after that 5-minute thing. I was sick as a dog when I came out of that.
Oh no!
I know.
Really bad.
I didn't even go on that one. I can't anymore. Even though like it's the one thing that I want to be able to go on the most, I can't. I get too sick.
I got way too sick on that. Way too sick. I couldn't handle it. But for weirdly enough, VR has not made me, at least Gear VR anyway, has not made me feel motion sick. It may just be the stuff that I'm doing with it is not really all that arduous. And it may be that if I play a high-speed game on an Oculus Rift or whatever, that I might get that. But it is. I'm not too worried about the price, and I'm also not too worried about the fact that it is expensive, because people are now calling this the death knell for VR. It's like, oh, it's too expensive, so that means there won't be enough adopters, which means no one will make games to it, which means it's dead on arrival. Bullshit.
Just based on Oculus? That's so stupid.
It's not the only headset, for one thing, and the price is going to go down, Not only we already knew that even if the headset was like $2, the computer that you need to run it well is still far more expensive than that, Yeah. You need a $1,000 PC, really, minimum, to get a good experience out of a Rift. Ideally more than that, because you're rendering high resolution at high frame rate. It's difficult. It's not the death knell at all. I think that people, companies that are forward-thinking realize, obviously, that if they're creating software for an enthusiast market, they're more likely to sell copies. People who have this are going to want content for it. So yeah, it's going to be a smaller market, but it's going to be a market with more disposable income that's more willing to spend money. So that's good. Sure. You can make money that way. You absolutely can. And it will eventually go down in price, and getting in on the VR market early and starting to build software for it and learning how to do it well is going to put you in a good place for later on.
Yeah, this is a luxury tech item. This isn't everyday consumer electronic thing. So anyone that expected it to be like, just go to your local multi-department store and grab one, it was not quite on the right page, I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't particularly need one right now as is. Like,
no,
it's not something you need to have.
There's not enough stuff to justify it. You know, unless you are an enthusiast, there's no reason for you to own an Oculus when it comes out. Wait, see how it goes. Yeah. Or buy a cheaper headset when there invariably are cheaper headsets.
Yeah, it's not like all your friends are going to have them and be playing with them or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what the majority, it's that feeling like, oh, it's this new thing, and I saw these people had it, and it was so cool looking. Just remember when Xbox and PlayStation came out with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, everyone was like, I want it so bad, and there was nothing to do on them. That's pretty much Oculus right now. It's like, I want it so bad.
I mean, to be honest, that's Gear right now. Like, I'm going to be honest, like, with Gear, there's, like, 1 or 2 games that are worth playing on that. Like, Eve Gunjack is a really fun, it's a turret game, but it's admittedly a very fun turret game. And there's a couple of horror games that aren't too bad. Outside of that, I primarily use it to watch Netflix when I want a big screen and my wife is sleeping. So I can't turn the projector and the sound system on in the bedroom. So I'll put on the headset and headphones, and I can watch on what is fooling me into thinking is a big screen. And it looks good enough, and it's comfortable enough to do it. But that's mostly the role of it right now. Eventually, you know, I really think that VR actually, when it comes to gaming, I don't think that's going to be the thing that gets it in the mainstream. I think it's going to be other stuff. I think it's going to be virtual concert tickets. I think it's going to be virtual sports events. That's what's going to make VR sell. I said it before, after experiencing the 2-minute clip of... they did SummerSlam, the WWE. They did a 2-minute clip of SummerSlam. Cool. You were in the fucking crowd. I would pay through the nose for that if I couldn't go to the pay-per-view. I'd pay for every pay-per-view in VR and watch it that way because it was so fucking immersive because the sound is all around you. You can look around and see the guy behind you waving his fucking sign. You can focus on one particular area all the time. You don't have to deal with WWE shitty camera work. It's perfect.
Do you think, and this is just, I imagine the WWE would do this, do you think that they would put then, if the experience was you're in the audience and it was a live experience, they would put staged actors around you to be really excited about, like, oh my God.
Yeah, they probably would. They absolutely would.
Experience. I'd love the experience if you go to a concert and it's just like everyone around you is paid to be in that location. That'd be great.
And everyone just has to be enthusiastic. Yeah.
I was just playing Guitar Hero Live. Did any of you guys play that?
Not yet.
So I'm a rock band girl. I really like rock band, but I thought I'd give Guitar Hero Live a try because there's a lot of different things, different controller, different aesthetic. And it's like very much VR without VR because it's actual people filmed from an actual like eye view camera. Yeah. So when you're playing, you feel like you're actually, you know, on stage and you look to your right and there's your bandmate. And when you're doing poorly, the singer will come up to you and be like, dude, get with it. And like try to help you get in rhythm and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, and I was thinking about that in the sense of VR when I got to like the Boss concert, you know, and it was like this huge stadium full of people. And I actually got like this stage fright feeling for a second. I was like, oh, because if I played that in VR and you could look around the whole stadium, how
and you know that they're doing it in VR, right? They announced that.
Did they? I didn't know that.
Yep. I think it was Rock Band that announced it, possibly, but I can't remember if it was Rock Band or Guitar Hero. But yeah, they're doing a VR version of it, and I mean, I would probably play that. I'm just very scared I'll fall over. I'm gonna be honest. I'm rocking out on my plastic guitar and then I just face plant in. Because you do lose.
It's a very shameful experience. But the point of bringing all that up when we're talking about news and what you were saying, Jesse, about being at a concert was I could see backstage passes being a thing where like you in the VR get to like stand on stage with Taylor Swift or whatever.
And you can totally do that. That's the thing. Yeah. You know, once you set the camera up, because it's basically 360. They don't have to do anything with it. You can look, you know, the camera work, it becomes entirely your fault at that point, you know? If you're looking at the wrong thing, that's your own bloody fault. So if they invest in the tech, they're also going to have to figure out how to stream it. Because streaming 360 video is going to take a lot of bandwidth. So they're going to have to figure that one out. Obviously, downloading a 360 video is doable, but they're very large files as well. Once they figure out the streaming aspect of it and get it working properly, I think virtual concerts, virtual sporting events will be a huge draw for VR. And games, as much as I love them, will probably not be the thing that pushes people to use it.
I'm really excited to play Guitar Hero Live in VR now.
Oh, man.
I didn't know that was coming out.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting.
So just give me my HTC Vive, and I'll just...
Yep. I mean, I'll be buying both the headsets because I do want to know which one is better. Ultimately, it's I have no loyalty to any of these brands. I want to see what the better one is, and I'm not so interested in the room experience, mainly because I'd probably be using my headset mostly in my office, and I have no space. I'll run into something. It's not going to happen. But it seems like you'd have to have a specialized setup in a room, and obviously not a lot of people can really do that. They don't necessarily have a spare room that they could turn into a VR room. You can a portion of part of a room, because I've been told that the room experience doesn't have to be that big. It's not actually, it doesn't take over your whole house or anything, but it's setting that up is very impractical,
Yeah, I mean, at least the equipment seems like it's going to be pretty doable. It doesn't seem like you have to really build something into your house. It's just these sensors, but then you do have to have enough space to walk around to make it worth walking around.
There also has to be a PC in that room, which is a bit of a problem. I mean, I imagine they'll probably integrate it into Steam Link in some way so that you can stream it out, but the thing is, Steam Link is limited to 60 frames per second, and that Vive and Oculus run at 90, so I don't know if that would even work, So it's a tricky concept. That's going to be even more niche, I think, honestly.
Mm-hmm. But I want it so bad.
Yeah, I'm still on the bandwagon for VR. What I've experienced of VR so far seems like it won't be great for every game, but I think it's a supplement. It's a supplement like a racing wheel is a supplement, or my fight stick.
Yeah.
I don't use my fight stick for everything, but the stuff that I do use it for makes that game a lot better. And I think the Oculus is very similar in that respect. I'll be playing games where you're in a cockpit, whether it be a racing game or a space game or a flight simulator or something like that. I probably won't be playing third-person shooters in it, because that doesn't make any sense. I think there's a game called Lucky's Tale, which is coming out for VR, which I think it's actually bundled with the Oculus. And it's a third-person platformer. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why is this in VR, and how can I possibly benefit from it with that camera angle? I mean, isn't the point of VR immersion supposed to be that you are looking from a first-person perspective? I don't understand.
I mean, I guess it could be cool to, look around the whole world and follow your little character around, because it's the same concept that we were talking about, can I be an animal? Cool. But I see what you're saying. The argument's valid.
It's just very odd. It doesn't seem like it takes advantage of what the VR can do.
Yeah.
It's slow. I mean, it looks like the character's kind of looking at you, but it's just it's a third-person platformer, kind of Super Mario 64 style. And I just don't see how that extra camera angle would help you in any way. The Eve Valkyrie, which was the other game, it makes it a huge amount of sense, eminently more sense, because it's a space fighter game. Of course that would work. You're in a cockpit, a stationary cockpit, in a moving vehicle. It's perfect for VR. This is not.
Although I wonder, because I've been told that the reason I get motion sick when I'm playing Oculus, with controllers, is that I'm moving my body out of sync with how I'm moving my head, and my inner ear gets confused. So if I were moving another character and my head is just me looking at the character, I wonder if that would help with motion sickness.
You're probably right. It would. I think obviously you wouldn't get the same immersion, but maybe there's still value to it, almost in the way that there's kind of, VR, 3D doesn't give you that amazing sense of immersion, but I still don't hate watching 3D movies. There's still a nice little sense of depth. It's on a good screen that isn't too dim. I like watching 3D movies. I wouldn't go out of my way to do it, but they're okay. I wonder if that's what the secondary use of VR is. It's like, it enhances it a bit, makes it pop a little bit more, So you can use that if you wish.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I guess so, but again, I don't have any problem with the price. I think it's for what it is. As you said, it's early adopter tech. It's gonna be expensive. It's cutting edge hardware, and eventually it will be cheaper. And if you don't want to buy in now, I recommend that you don't. If you don't have $600 lying around that you can afford to waste on something that you don't know will even work, then don't pre-order it. It's a lot of money. Don't do it. Come on. Guys. Yeah, just chill out. Wait. The point of the early adopters is we'll test this shit for you. So let us handle that, and then when it's reasonably priced and it has enough good games and experiences on it, then get it.
Totally.
I don't think VR is going away. It's gonna be a thing for the next few years, whether you fucking like it or not. So just wait it out and see how it plays out. Cool. Let's move on to Sony. Yay. Sony are idiots will be the discussion topic of this one. So, the controversy surrounding this is that Sony decided it would try and trademark the term Let's Play.
So dumb.
That did not go down well. Not at all. Not with a lot of people. And it was announced today that the trademark was rejected.
I'm shocked.
What a surprise.
Shocked.
Weirdly enough, it was rejected on the basis that there is a company called Let's Play with a Z instead of an S that already exists, and that there would be far, far too many confusions. The thing is that people have now argued that that's the only reason that it got stopped. The thing is that trademark law doesn't kind of really work like that. It goes through several stages of checking, and that's probably like they fell at the first hurdle by the looks of it. Even if they got past that, the guy would probably turn around and say, no, this term's been around for way too long. You haven't even proven use of it. And it's going to be way too confusing for people because Let's Play is a generic term now. It's why you can't trademark cola, because cola is a generic term, but you can trademark Coca-Cola because that's a brand.
Right.
So I don't even know why they tried. I mean, what's the logic? They don't even have any history of doing this.
I mean, I guess it depends on how they wanted to utilize it, right? Like what?
You think like an advertising campaign or something silly like that?
Well, like PlayStation 4, Let's Play or whatever.
Yeah.
The thing is that when they applied for the trademark, they had to give the specific usage parameters, and it did not include that. It actually specifically referenced streaming video games with commentary.
Seriously?
Yep, specifically. If you
That's
actually
real
go
dumb.
to the trademark page, you will find that. So they were absolutely trying to do that.
Do you think that they were? I mean, this could have been like an E3 2016. Like, please use our streaming service that's in our thing. Like that was going to be their pitch for their like big like all of our games now when you stream them online. They could have done that. Look, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here.
I don't know why you would. That's Sony.
Oh yeah. Sony ain't done nothing for me, but I'm giving them the benefit here because it's so ridiculous that you have to imagine like somewhere they had good intentions somewhere. Like they can't. I don't imagine them sitting around a boardroom being like, "How can we piss off the internet today?" Like, no. Like, I don't imagine that. I just don't.
That's what I want it to be, though. That's how I want to imagine them.
They're just in a dark, sinister room, like, what shall we do today?
I like that is how we imagine I assume, very Asian board of directors. Yes, what do we do today? Yes.
That is how they sound. That's a fact now. That's on the internet. You can't take it back.
These are those things where I just really wish there was some recording I could watch of that meeting where someone was like, you know what we should do? We should trademark Let's Play. And people were like, oh yeah, okay. That sounds, let's write it on the whiteboard. Okay, let's take some action items. Like, where did that start? I want to see it happen.
I want to find out what kind of corporate synergy that we could gain from this.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you could just slip me a little note at some point. Just tell me how that's going to be.
Right.
Let's work together. Let's put our heads together on this.
I mean, but what is your theory here? That they were trying to copyright Let's Play in order to shut down Let's Plays? Was that like their...
No, that would be that. I don't think they would do that. That's corporate suicide. Not to mention they wouldn't win. Like that's
what I'm saying. Like, what was the purpose? Like
that's why I don't understand. I have no theories. I don't even have a theory on this because it makes no sense.
Sony would be like, yes, now we'll destroy the internet. I don't think that's a thing. So I have to imagine they had a good, like, they thought it was good reason, but it's just stupid of them to do this. I just don't know what that could be. Like, what could that be? That reason?
That's what I mean. I don't even mean that I think it was a nefarious attempt. That's why I would like to see that meeting, because I want to know how this result came about from whatever purpose that was.
I don't know. I can't even speculate as to why they would even try it.
Well, and then if they had gotten it, like you're saying, Jesse, it's not like they would go out and be like, all right, now all of the Let's Play videos on the internet belong to us. Like,
Well, I mean, it wouldn't work. That flat out would not work. They'd get their ass kicked in court even attempting that.
There has to be a
nonsense.
reason, right? There has to be a reason. A corporate company, we're trying to clearly use this term reason. And the best I can think of is like a promotional thing. At some point, they're going to be like, let's all play together. But as TB said, it clearly wasn't.
They were very specific about what they meant. And the thing is, this is the thing with trademarks, you have to be specific. It's possible for companies and products to be named the same thing as long as they're not confusing the customer. The whole point of the trademark is to protect the brand and its uniqueness, but also protect the consumers from being confused by rival brands. And that, let's say, for just throwing this out there for some being completely ridiculous, my new car is called Let's Play. That's my new brand of car. And I could probably, in the context of it being a car, trademark that. This is the Toyota Let's Play. And
so my soft drink, the Jesse Cox Let's Play?
The Jesse Cox Let's Play soft drink? Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely. That's why there are...
A creepy name for a soft drink. Let's Play.
Yeah, so you can totally do that. I mean, sometimes, of course, those brands come into conflict, but generally the decision comes down to, would this confuse your regular consumer? If no, it's fine. If yes, one of you gotta fucking change it, basically. So I don't know what the hell Sony were attempting to do there. I'm just very glad that so far they haven't been able to do it. They have until July to appeal it. They better bloody not. And if they do, they bloody well better explain themselves. What are you trying to do here? You don't have any rights to this term. This term is clearly generic. Even Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter don't have rights to this term. That term was generic before they even created their Let's Play channel.
Yeah.
I think Slowbeef will have a lot to say about this, The literal inventor of the Let's Play term, who has been on our podcast before, would probably be pretty pissy if Sony says, we own this. It's like, no, you don't. And you had nothing to do with it. You have no past use rights. There's no way. Yeah,
you have to be right, Jesse. It has to be some sort of streamer product, like streaming product that they're going to try to tie into their online presence. Yeah.
As a man who has watched many hours of the PlayStation 4 streaming service, it needs promotion. It needs to be fixed. So, yeah.
Basically, unless you're playing Destiny or Black Ops 3, nobody watches you. That's my experience on Twitch.
Oh, no, that's not the case at all. The people who get watched are the people who just use the PlayStation 4, camera?
Oh, yeah, but that's not on Twitch, so I don't know anything about that. Yeah.
Oh, it's just on PlayStation, and it is it's some weird shit.
It's weird shit, man.
It's super...
Like what?
If you are drunk with friends at 3 a.m., turn on your PlayStation 4 and watch the camera. Just like the camera footage. I've seen everything. I've seen everything on there. I've seen everything from, 14-year-old kids get super high in, a dude's basement to, an old lady strip to, a dude throw a party. But it's so loud, you can't hear it. It's all, in the background. But it's, a party. Just a party. And you're watching because there's weird people at the party. It's the Wild West. Anything goes, and it's crazy.
It's public access television going wild by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It's pretty great.
It's weird. Grab a few drinks with some friends and sit there and watch it and be like, why are we doing this? And no one has an answer, and no one cares because it's entertaining as hell.
Surely someone has
chat roulette, but with even less interaction.
Yeah, you don't interact with them, really. There's got to be a YouTube series of people sitting down watching those and providing reactions to it, surely.
Well, that's what we said we wanted to do. We wanted to do a show.
Why haven't you done that yet?
Because I was like, the legal implications.
Legal implications of showing people in their houses. Yeah, that's probably true.
And because it's so wild and things happen, there was one, I think the very first time we ever turned it on, the number one stream in all of the PlayStation videos had 1,000 views, and it was of 3 guys and a girl in a basement doing bong tornadoes, blowing smoke into tornadoes, and then the girl was kept trying to strip in front of the camera, and her boyfriend was like, stop it! She's like, they want to see, and he's like, stop it! That was legit the first time I watched this. It was like, I found my love. I love this thing. This is so great. I love watching train wrecks. I can't look away. I love it.
Oh my. All right, there's one more news article I'd like to tackle just quickly. This is actually a fairly recent announcement. It is an announcement today. So you might be aware of something called EA Access, which has been on Xbox One for quite some time, which is a monthly subscription service which gives you access to a library of games while you're subscribed to it, as well as pre-release trials of games and a bit of a discount on those games. They are now releasing this on PC, and it's going to be called Origin Access. Same deal. $5 a month gets you access to the EA Vault, which has a number of games in it. Launch titles include Dragon Age Inquisition, Battlefield Hardline, so someone might actually play that game now, The Sims 3, FIFA 15, SimCity, oh god, that's not a plus, and they will be given pre-release access trials of new games, and you'll get 10% off. The first trial is going to be Unravel, which we have seen,
Really?
that thing, yeah, you'll be able to play some of Unravel early.
I might do that for real then.
They'll have access for 5 days before it's released to the world, and you get 10% off. What do you reckon about these kind of game subscription services? Obviously, it reaching PC is not a new idea. There have been third-party services that have done this on PC in the past. They're just not, most of them aren't around anymore. There's a couple, what was it called? I was almost about to say it was called Ebola, and I know that was not true.
Yes. Let's talk about Ebola.
Ebola, yeah. Secret Ebola. It was called Metaboli. That's why I got confused.
Metaboli.
I think that still exists. It's mostly I used to, when I was at university, I subscribed to Metaboli because I couldn't afford games. And Metaboli was like, hey, pay us £7 a month, and you get access to our whole library, and you can just download every game that we have in our library and just play it. And it's a games on demand service, basically. So, what do you reckon about services like this? Like, are you good with it? You're not good with it?
I mean, as long as they work, I don't know. Like, I feel like the big issue that always comes up is that there's something about how it's created and how it works that's just borked. Like, if you're playing it cloud-wise, then there's going to be extreme lag.
Thankfully,
right?
This is not a cloud service.
Yeah, and I don't know, like...
But it is EA, so...
It's EA, so it's going to be fucked up. I'm just saying, like...
I don't know. I know you guys are salty about Dead Space 3 years ago, and you're still going to hold a grudge till the end of time, but Origin lately has been fine. Like, it's fine. It's a decent client. It does what it's supposed to do. It's had much better security than Steam has for a while, and its customer service is a lot better than Valve too. I don't hate, I hate Uplay. Uplay doesn't add anything, but Origin's a decent client. I'm okay with it.
I thought you were just gonna leave it at, I hate you.
I hate you, Dodger, for saying this. I, for some reason, love Origin so much that I find this offensive.
Have they said what games are going to be on there in the future? Because right now it's, like you said, Dragon Age, Battlefield Hardline, The Sims 3, FIFA 15.
If you track what's been happening with EA Access, which has been out for like a year and a half, you can kind of see the lifespan of their titles there. I'm just trying to bring up a list of the stuff that's been on it. Yeah, so currently in the vault, it's got Battlefield 4, FIFA 14, Peggle 2, Need for Speed Rivals, Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare, UFC, NBA Live, Madden, NHL, FIFA 15, Titanfall, Dragon Age Inquisition, and Battlefield Hardline. And that's what they released over the course of a year and a half. Essentially.
I mean, if this was something that I don't know, man. There's got to be, like, I think because the reason why something like PlayStation Plus works so well is because there's so many games that, like, you get free games, right? If you subscribe to this thing.
Well, I mean, it's the same with this too.
But it's only EA titles. And so if you look in the future,
they said selected third-party titles will be included, depending on what deals they get. The thing is that right now there aren't any. Like, in the list, these are all EA published games.
I mean, the best I can expect from them, like, imagine if you're like, oh, if I sign up for this, am I going to get Mirror's Edge for free? No, of course you won't. So, when the new one comes out, what is the point of signing up for this? What do you get?
Well, you get 10% off the purchase of it. So, if you're buying a $60 game, you're saving $6 and it's $5 a month. So, if you're regularly buying EA games, it seems like this is a good deal for you anyway.
That's the clincher for me, is like, the price is good enough that I'm interested, because
it's a very low monthly price.
Yeah.
It's $5 is not a lot.
if it were like even $8 or $9, I'd be like, nah. But $5 is enough that it's like, okay, compared to how much I'll probably spend on EA games in the next little while, like how many months if I pay for this for how many months does it equal out, that kind of thing. So I feel like I would partake for that price right now, but I agree with you, Jesse, that when you think about what's successful, like Hulu, Netflix, that kind of model, it's not like all of the ABC shows and then all of the Fox shows and then all of, because those services exist, but nobody cares because they want one where all of them are available.
Right.
So I would predict that in the far future, we would have like Netflix games, and that's what I'll pay for. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
This seems like a thing that I would say, just like with the Oculus, wait. There's no reason to get this
wait
now.
and see how it
No
goes.
reason at all.
Someone mentioned in chat that apparently this War of Mine will be available on that, which is not an EA game. I don't know what their source for that is because I haven't found that anywhere. But if they do get third parties on there, then yeah, that sounds it is a pretty cheap sub ultimately. And it seems like it would be hard not to get value out of it. If you're at least playing one of the games from the vault that would have cost you maybe $30, $40 otherwise, it's $60 a year, which is the price of one boxed game.
I guess if these are games you haven't played before, this is an incredibly good deal.
Yes, of course.
Jump on this.
Absolutely.
Play these games, and by the time you've finished some of these games, new things will be out. And so, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just to get early access to Unravel, I would pay for a couple months, at least, and then you can always cancel it. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll pay $10 to have early access to Unravel.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it. Someone, the Vault is now, I think, available. So this War of Mine is on the list. Dead Space, actually, all the Dead Space games are on the list. All of the Dragon Age games are on the list. Battlefield 4 is on the list, as is Hardline. Battlefield 3 is there, and SimCity, obviously, which is terrible. Garden Warfare, Need for Speed Rivals, and The Sims 3, by the looks of it. Which is not a bad selection of games. I mean, obviously, the things I own or have played all of these that I'm interested in playing. So,
and honestly, for $5, you can play all of those in a month. Truth be told, that's a good $5 month right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a minimum contract term for this. I don't know how long you have to actually sub. I'm just going to try and find out now. What I will say is that, and this is kind of weird, it's changed the way that some console games have been reviewed because. Strangely enough, with EA Access, it's possible to review a game before the review embargo is done. And it's actually caused a lot of reviewers on console platforms to stop taking review copies because this is better. Like, you get it quicker. You can get your, like, for a first impression, if I got access to Unravel 5 days early, and then but the review embargo on Unravel is 1 day before, I can get my first impression out without doing anything untoward, by the way, earlier than the reviewers can. For me, this is a must-buy for that very reason, just to get earlier access to these games. It's kind of crazy, really, when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Well, yeah, a lot of these are trials, and the thing is that your progress carries over to the main game, which is really cool. So if they have a limited trial and the trial ends, you can jump right back in where you were when the game comes out, which I think is a really neat idea. Like, I honestly think it's a pretty good service. Like, it offers a lot for a little. And apparently you can cancel at any time. So I'm like, obviously you lose your content if you do it, but it's...
I like that the progress you make carries over if you buy the game.
That's good. Yeah. So I like that. There was one final thing, actually, I wanted to mention that JP brought up, which is Amazon Prime is... this is actually ridiculous. So Amazon Prime, I don't know if this is anywhere else other than the US right now, is offering 20% off all new games for Amazon Prime members, all of them. And that's going to be through the entirety of this year, and that's valid up until 2 weeks after release. So it's not just for people that pre-order.
That's fantastic.
So I'm like, what? I mean, if you're a Prime member, which is like, what, $100 a year, this is an incredible deal. Yeah. That's an insane deal.
Well, and it makes sense that they would do that because of how digital game releases are getting. Like, they probably are not selling as many video games as they want to be selling, and this probably still works out as a positive for them.
It probably does, even if they're making no money at all, the point is they're getting people onto the Amazon store. So apparently it's in the US only right at the moment, but to me it's like, well, because I'm not a console reviewer. I mean, I'm not a reviewer at all, but I don't really do console stuff. I buy my console games. So I'm like, oh, well, why would I not buy? I already buy them from Amazon anyway. So I'm like, okay, I'm saving 20%. If this was only on pre-order stuff, I'd still say, but it's not. Up until 2 weeks after launch is ridiculously generous. You know, you can wait until the reviews come out, you can find everything, and then just buy the thing, get 20% off it. Why the hell wouldn't you if you're a Prime member?
Sam and I just bought Overwatch.
I bought Overwatch Collector's Edition on Amazon, too.
And saved money on it? That's
Collector's Edition is $100 right now.
Yeah, because you know you'll get a saving. Like if you know you're gonna get that game for for streaming or whatever, that's why the fuck wouldn't you do this? And I wonder if that's a pretty aggressive move even against Steam, because Amazon does sell PC games. You know, if you are, I'd say if you are waiting for delivery, but I suppose if you pre-ordered it, it gets there on release day. Not that you should pre-order video games, but it's if you're willing to be a little bit patient, you're gonna save money. And Steam, for new games anyway, does not give that level of discount. Usually for a new game, it's 10% at most.
Prime is so fast, too.
It is.
I don't know if it's just my area because I'm in San Francisco, but if I order something, even if I get just normal 2-day shipping, it'll sometimes arrive the same day. It's fast.
That's a very San Francisco thing. Trust me, in North Carolina it does not. But that set of screwdrivers that I just picked up, I ordered that yesterday morning, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, and now there's Prime Now. Have you guys used this? It's like where it Amazon.
Yeah, where they literally just Uber the thing to you, basically. Yeah.
I was like, I would like to have an external hard drive right this second. And they were like, okay. And they brought me an external hard drive.
I still haven't used it, but...
I just don't like that it requires you have an app on your phone. That's the only reason why I don't use it. Because I'm just like,
I think that's dumb too. I totally agree with that.
If it was on your computer, that shit would happen all the time. But for some reason, the fact that I have to scroll through an app to find what I'm looking for, I'm like, I don't have time for this. I'd rather just type it in.
Yep, so... Just wanted to let people know about that, because that's kind of insane and ridiculous, and I wonder if that's going to light a fire under Steam's arse, although according to numbers, this Steam sale has been their most successful ever, so that's probably not going to... I don't think they're too worried. They're doing pretty well. And that's hilarious, because I saw so many complaints on forums that the new Steam sale isn't fun anymore. Because they changed the daily deals and flash sales thing. They made it, a convenient regular sale where you could just buy things at a proper price. Apparently that's not fun.
It's not sales-tainment anymore, John.
Oh god, man, how will I be entertained with all of these video games here? Oh wait, like, I know I find that really weird and cult-like. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
It scares the shit out of me. Like, it demonstrated that Valve's marketing over the past few years to people has been really effective. That they actually got people to be upset that they made a more sensible sale with less bullshit. Because people are like, oh, but I was so excited to see the new deals every day. What? You were excited to see new things you could buy every... Come on. It's like, you getting all the prices up front and knowing that a price is not going to change is much more convenient than the flash sale bullshit. It's like, damn, I wasn't at work at 3 a.m. Guess I missed that sale. Fuck that. That's a terrible idea. It was always a terrible idea. I'm glad they got rid of it. Nonsense.
Nonsense.
That consumers like that are kind of their own worst enemy. Like, they'll buy and defend literally anything, and it's like, oh god, please stop. Just be sensible. Apply some common sense. Come on. They are video games.
True.
All right.
You guys want to do releases?
Yeah, quick round of releases. Here we go.
Cool.
Dodger.
January 12th. Today is
Yay.
Big Action Mega Fight.
I think that is a sort of side-scrolling brawler thing, if I recall correctly. Big action mega fight. Yeah, $5. It is a classic single-player brawler, basically, with kind of cool art style. Actually looks like quite a bit of fun.
Cool. Next is Gone Home for PS4.
Oh, we know what that is. The walking around the house simulator. It's,
Tharsis, which Jesse told us about earlier.
Die in space, thanks to your dice rolls. So there you go.
Yeah. New York Mysteries High Voltage.
New York.
It's a hidden object game.
Hidden object game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That Dragon Cancer.
No.
I can't even watch that trailer. It makes me so sad.
I saw a screenshot before the end of the first segment, and it hit me right here. You know, it's like, oh. I respect that they did it, you know, and those that don't know the story behind That Dragon Cancer is it was a couple whose, you know, very, very young child got cancer, you know, and he didn't survive, unfortunately, and they made a game basically as a memorial to the kid's life. And it's very sad, incredibly sad. I have a lot of respect for them making it. I don't think I could ever play that. That is too much, way too much. But if you can, you should probably look into it and support it if you're okay with the emotional side of things, because that's a hard thing to deal with.
There are ways to buy it too, so that your purchase will go to cancer research charities, I think.
I believe that is true.
At least I know. I was looking at an article that says Razer Cortex will donate all its proceeds to cancer charities. So I don't know if others are doing that too, but at least they are.
Right. Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay, moving on.
Next up is Philia, the sequel to Alanzer.
How the hell do you spell that?
Phillia.
Oh, I see it. Okay, got it. Never mind. It is a Myst-like point-and-click. It's a $4 Myst-like point-and-click, apparently, about saving Elena's husband. So it's a sort of... it actually does look quite a lot like Myst. I mean, you know, which makes it mean it looks like it was made in 1993. But it...
I was going to say, so it looks old?
It looks old, yes. Yeah. It's very much a kind of walk-around sort of mystery game, and that is a dog.
Look at the puppy!
That is a dog.
Next up, January 13th, we've got Energy Cycle.
Energy Cycle is... I was hoping this would be a motorcycle racing game, but apparently it is a puzzle game. There's a giant cat in this game for no reason.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a puzzle. It's some kind of energy balancing puzzle game, and there's an evil cat involved. I don't know why.
Great. Next up, January 14th, we've got Love Beat.
Love Beat. I hope that's not as violent as it sounds. It is a rhythm action game. It's a free rhythm action... Oh, it's a multiplayer free rhythm action game. Oh, dear.
Yep.
All right, yeah, it's some sort of massively multiplayer social rhythm action game thing.
With anime characters.
And you can dress up. It's got lots of customization. So there is that. That is the thing.
Great. Next up is Zombie Wars Invasion.
Well, that sounds original.
Probably a zombie game.
It's a tower defense. Do you like tower defense with zombies? This actually looks like a blatant... Art style looks very similar to Plants vs. Zombies. Like, it's skirting the line of copyright infringement here. So, yeah, I'm sure you're going to be really excited for that. Next.
Oh, there's that one. Pro Basketball Manager 2016.
I don't think we need to explain what that is.
I'm just like...
It is, yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. Like, really, like, in-depth basketball management game. Yeah, that's a lot of spreadsheets. Okay. Next.
Cool. Next up is Battle Pixels.
That applies to, like, every game, right?
Yeah. All games are Battle Pixels.
Yeah. Retro-style, isometric, multiplayer tank game. Next.
Nordenfelt.
Is apparently a naval gun because that is what I found. So
it is a vertical scrolling steampunk shoot 'em up. It's all about dodging hails of bullets. Yeah, it definitely looks like a kind of Japanese shooter, but it actually is by a company called Black Golem, who I assume are not Japanese. I may be entirely mistaken though. Next.
Next up, January 15th, we've got Oxenfree, which looks awesome.
What's that all about?
It's a game. It's about a bunch of teenagers who are all friends that go to like this kind of abandoned island, and they wind up solving kind of a ghost story on the island, and it's got a really cool art style.
Yeah, I like the art style. That's really cool.
I forgot about that one. That looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, that looks great. All right, next.
Next is Echoes of Etheria.
I've heard something about this. I'm trying to remember exactly what. Oh, no, never mind. This is an RPG Maker game. It can't be what I was thinking of. Next.
Okay, next is Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon.
Yep, Dark Horizon, which is $30, and of course includes all the content from the game that came out on PlayStation 3 a few years ago. But glad to see it on PC anyway. You know, better late than never, I always say.
Yeah.
Next
up is Proto Shift.
Predo, right? Just making sure it's Predo Shift and not something else. It
is a fast-paced Switch-based arcade game filled with challenge.
Filled with challenge, you say?
I heard you like challenge, so I put some challenge in your challenge.
This thing looks like fucking Flappy Bird. With a box. Looks even worse.
Then.
Screw that.
Next game is called Herding Dog.
I mean, I assume it's about hurting things.
I assume.
It is a wolf-eat pig world out there for farmers. Play as your trusty farm canine and unlock your inner guard dog as you jump and bark to keep your farm safe from predators.
Aww. Great. Next game is called Super Ubi Island Remix.
Here's the thing. This don't look bad. It's a platformer, but it kind of has that sort of, I don't know what kind of vibe this is. It doesn't look bad at all. It's on Wii U now, too, apparently.
It gives me a little bit of a Meat Boy vibe, but it looks more like a Behemoth game. You know, the alien hominids, kind of Castle Crashers-ish art style. I mean, it's a platformer, so, hey, you know, there's 5,000 of them, but it doesn't look too bad for a platformer.
Cool.
Not bad.
Nice.
Well, next up is Super Intergalactic Gang.
Super
Intergalactic Gang!
A classic wave-based shoot-'em-up with a new twist, apparently. Slow time to dodge bullets. That is not a new twist at all. Although you can punch your enemies to death, apparently, so there's that.
Phew. Next up is Soul Zero Mars Colonization.
It is a Mars colonization game where you build the first human colony on Mars.
Great.
Next.
And January 16th, Chef Solitaire USA.
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 Chef Solitaire?
Chef Solitaire.
That's an oddly specific combination. And why
Yes,
USA after all of that?
If only I knew.
It is enjoy solitaire to your heart's content while bringing your hamburger baking skills to perfection. Yeah, that was exactly what I'm looking for from games.
What?
It's a weird combination of like mini games and solitaire and baking. I don't exactly understand why, but it is. That is a thing. Next.
That's it.
Great, cool. That is the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. But before we go, we'd love to tell you where you can find our stuff over the next few weeks. So, Anna, tell us a little bit about what you are doing over the next few weeks and where we can go to watch you.
Well, tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, so in 3 hours or so, I'm going to be on Misclick's D&D, and we're doing a one-off Dungeons & Dragons show tonight. We normally have a campaign that goes every Tuesday, but we have some missing members this week, so we're doing a mermaid adventure.
Okay.
Cool.
And Silent Osiris is going to be joining us, and it should be really fun. So you can tune into that on Misclicks, which is MISSCLIKS. And that's actually where I'm most often on Twitch. It's our community, live stream community, and online community that's about uplifting gamers and trying to create more diverse gaming spaces. So we have a lot of fun there. And then also on Thursday, I'll be on Misclicks for Eye on the Storm, which is our Heroes of the Storm talk show that's going to be covering Heroes Rising, the event that just happened, and kind of the new rosters and all of that fun stuff. I think we're going to have someone from Bob Ross Fan Club, which is kind of the super team that won Heroes Rising.
Yeah, I heard Jesse was talking a lot about that in his recent vlog. Correctly. Yeah.
I did talk about those guys.
Yeah.
Cool. Fantastic.
And then I'll be on Twitch Weekly on Friday because I'm on Twitch Weekly every week now. And other than that, I'll post everything on Twitter. And that's the best place to find me is at Anna Prosser on Twitter.
There you go. Wonderful. Dodger, what's coming up for you this week?
Just started uploading the Until Dawn stream. So if you want to watch us murder teenagers, it was good stuff.
It was a very fun stream that I enjoyed watching greatly, and I would highly recommend it.
I'm glad, thanks. Yeah, it was on youtube.com/press-hard-to-continue.
At it, by the way.
I know.
Terrible. Just
I know.
Awful.
You can also find me on twitch.tv/dexterity-bonus. I'm actually going to do a stream right after this. So if you want to watch that, feel free. We're going to be trying to finish up the Heavensward storyline. My cousin and I are going to do it. So. And other than that, on all the social medias, I'm at DexBonus, DEXBONUS, and thanks for watching.
Awesome. Jesse, what are you bringing to the table?
Oh my goodness, nothing of importance.
Well, I mean, there's nothing, that's not unusual, but...
Yeah, no, Krendor has mono, so that Let's Play's on hold. And,
yeah, he can't speak.
Every day I sit in my office and listen to Dodger make awful voices on her streams. And other than that, yeah, I mean, just... God hopes January ends soon because this is a horrible month for YouTube, and I need to complete 2 RPGs that are taking forever to do.
Donations, and that lovely YouTube red that you
Whatever.
hate. That's the way to go.
I got nothing. I do the same crap I do every week, guys, so tune in.
Cool.
It's great.
This week, after I've maybe had something to eat, I'm going to do my port report of Dragon's Dogma. And the embargo for that, I believe, is Thursday morning. So you will be able to get information on the PC port before it comes out. Unless, of course, you've already pre-ordered it, in which case stop pre-ordering video games. Otherwise, I have chemo tomorrow, which is kind of going to suck. So that's going to take me out of action for a couple of days. But after that, I'll probably be doing my Warframe video, my Warframe Revisited. I've put 70 hours into Warframe over the past couple of weeks. I'm in hard on Warframe, so I'll be doing a video about that. I actually am ready to do my planet-based video. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. So there'll be a video of that, which is the colony management game. And of course, after that, eventually there will be some Dragon's Dogma. Next week, we're going to be having Idiotech on the show, so he's going to be joining us. And the week after that, we have a very special guest indeed.
You are so excited for this.
I am kind of thrilled that we managed to pull this off. And people are like, how did you manage this? It's like, well, I asked. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take is the advice I would give to everybody. On the 27th of... this wonderful month of January, we will be welcoming the one and only Xavier Woods, WWE superstar, to the show. He runs the gaming channel Up Up Down Down, where he often plays video games in the back with WWE wrestlers, as well as doing his own wonderful Let's Plays. And he's not as bad at Until Dawn as Dodger is, so there is that. And he's also working on his PhD in educational psychology, so if you want to feel really bad about how better someone is than you, then tune in to the 27th of January.
Don't worry, guys. I won't let the celebrity get to TB. I'll still do the same intro I did for Felicia Day, but for him instead.
Oh, God. You don't even watch WWE. You have no idea what he is or who he is. You're going to ruin everything. He's never going to come back.
I'll bring my own trumpet. It'll be great.
Trombone, damn it, trombone.
Whatever.
He doesn't play a trumpet, it's a trombone.
Whatever.
Anyway, it will be very... It's gonna be a show to watch. I have no idea how this is gonna go. But we've got him for 3 hours, and we're gonna try not to scare him off. Okay, folks, thank you very much for watching the Cooptional Podcast. As always, we very much appreciate it. If you missed any part of this show, it is now available on the Twitch VODs right now. But if you're not a subscriber, you can't see that. And you'll be able to check it out on my channel when it comes out on Thursday. If you've missed any of the Secret Hitler videos, they're up on my channel right now. Go and watch them. 5 hours of wonderful Secret Hitler nonsense, and we will probably be doing more of that. I'll let you know on Twitter as to exactly what's going on with that. Thank you very much for watching the Cooptional Podcast. Special thanks, of course, to our guest, Anna Prosser Robinson, for being a phenomenal special guest on the show today. And we're out. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.